Chicken tried to kill me yesterday. Popeye's Chicken tried to kill me yesterday. I have to report an attempted chicken murder.
Did you not get a drink with your biscuit?
No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. I will tell you all about it. But first, welcome, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast here at RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
We got a lot of news. We got a lot of crazy stuff. We got stuff. But I got to talk about this.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell me about Popeye's Chicken trying to murder you.
All right. So yesterday, I was hungry. Popeye's Chicken had a 3-piece for $5. I was like, ooh, 3-piece for $5. It was like a leg and a breast and a wing. And then I was like, I went into the app and it was like, oh, you can customize. I was like, oh, give me 2 chicken breasts instead of like.
That's actually pretty useful.
Who wants a fucking wing? Well, then they charged me an extra $1.75, but it was like $6.75.
Yeah, that's not
for
terrible.
2 breasts and
after tax?
And a drumstick. And I had the points, and I was like, throw some fries on there, Popeye's Chicken. And then I was like, you know what? Biscuits are cheap. Throw me a biscuit in there as well. So I, 3 pieces of chicken and a biscuit and some fries and some ketchup. Good stuff, right? So then I go down to Popeyes to go pick up my chicken. And there's only one order waiting, and it's mine. And this guy is back there, and he keeps pulling chicken into this one box. He puts 5 pieces of chicken in this box, and I was like, that looks like my box, but why does it have 5 fucking pieces of chicken in it? And then the manager who's helping out, he was like, "Oh, you're the pickup order." And he was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "We are out of chicken breasts." And I'm like, "Well, first off, how?"
Yeah, how does that happen? How the hell did that happen?
How the fuck is Popeye's Chicken out of chicken? I don't know how that happens. So he was like, so I put some extra in there for you. And I was like, okay. So I take my bag and I'm like, damn, this bag is fucking heavy. And then I come home and open this box. And Michael, inside of this box was 1 drumstick and 4 chicken thighs.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, I might. That's the end of that. I can see
4 chicken thighs,
4 thighs and a drumstick. No wings. No. Just whatever else. No. It was just just put more chicken in this guy's box. Put all the chicken in this guy's box.
Yeah, that's a lot of chicken.
It wouldn't close. The top wouldn't tab. It was and I was like, I looked down and it was just if I wanted to go out, this would be a hell of a way to exit this world and be like, yeah, you remember Jeff? He ate just way too much Popeye's chicken. But fortunately, I stopped myself after 2.
Yeah, as you should. Because chicken thighs are pretty big.
Yeah, and they're
that's borderline a breast.
Yep, and my God, so. Yes. Then I put them in my refrigerator. I'm going to eat them tonight.
You should. Yes, you should save them. You should.
It's just I'm not used to that. I'm not used to being like, woo, there's so much Taco Bell. I'm going to put this burrito in the fridge and eat it tomorrow.
Well, you shouldn't do that with Taco Bell, though.
Yeah, I guess you can do that with chicken.
You can do that with a lot of things.
You can do it with pizza.
Yeah.
You can't do it with burgers or fries or any of that. Nobody's putting chicken nuggets in the fridge until the next day.
Well, nuggets you can kind of pull off because you can kind of air fry them again.
Oh, okay.
But with but burgers, it's you're better off just eating that shit right away.
You can't. We don't put a sandwich in there. They always get all soggy and crappy and shit.
And the only other time you can with a burger is if you made the burger yourself.
Yeah.
And all you're putting away is the burger meat.
Sure.
Because you can reheat the meat very easily and then remake it.
Yeah.
But not so much.
I guess if you
lettuce
got
and tomato and shit like that.
If you got 2 DLTs, right? You could throw the burgers. You just eat the burgers and leave all the rest of that. Anyway, beware, everyone. Popeyes might you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Little Nicky tells me Popeyes is the shiznat.
You start working on these apps, and then you end up buying $9 worth of stuff with your points, and then it's like, what the fuck? How did I order like 10 pounds of burrito? How is there 10 pounds of burrito in my house?
I ordered a lot of Papa John's that way early on.
Yeah,
because Papa John's has a really nice reward system.
Ooh, it was bad, or it could have been bad. It could have been worse. It could have
been a lot worse.
I felt kind of ill when I woke up today after just the 2 thighs and the drumstick, because I usually have to get some white meat in there, but I was like, okay. Tenders. Throw some fucking chicken strips in there.
Tenders would have made more sense.
Throw just the patty from the sandwich. Just throw that in there.
I don't think that would have worked the same way. But it might have. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I'll pick it up. I'll make the world's biggest, most oversized chicken sandwiches. Put it between the 2 biscuits, and then one whole chicken patty. Anyway, enough about chicken. We got a podcast to do. Michael, before we get into it, I've got a weird recommendation, but I feel like you got something on your mind,
Oh, yeah, okay, that. Okay.
Before we start, did you watch anything good? Did you play anything good? Have you done anything cool in the last week?
I have two things specifically. One is Death Stranding 2, which if I get started, we will not stop.
That's true.
Because Death Stranding 2 is something we both can talk about ad nauseum.
Yep.
So I will mention Superman since you have not seen Superbad yet.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not on the One of Us review, so I don't have any reason to like not.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of times when I'm on a review, like Chris is like, don't talk about it unless you're just saying, hey, go listen to the review.
Sure.
So in this case, I can just do like a normal review.
Yeah.
I love the movie. Mm-hmm. I think it's super fantastic. It's an episode straight out of the DC animated universe, is what it feels like.
Okay.
David Cornsweet and everyone fucking kills it as every character that shows up in the movie. Even Beck Bennett as Steve Lombard is so much fun.
Okay.
The plot starts the plot feels like it starts kind of in the middle, I think, but if you're used to comic book type things, you just go with it. You have no reason to like be like, hey, I need to see what caused this to happen. You're like, no, I'm perfectly fine with reading from the beginning of this thing.
I need 5 years worth of movies to explain the origin story of every single one of these people, and like where they were born and how they got a power in the first place.
That's the best thing about the movie. There's never a moment where they're like, this is Mr. Terrific. His real name is this, and this is why he does this.
Right.
And he created these. Like, no. He's like, this is Mr. Terrific, and he'll explain it when he wants to.
Yep.
The end. The same with, and this is Guy Gardner. He's Guy Gardner. That's all you have to know about him.
I'm just excited that a lot of new people are going to get to meet that asshole Guy Gardner.
And he's so perfect.
Yeah.
Because he's not too much of an asshole where you're like, I don't want him to be that guy. Mm-hmm. He's just right. He's that asshole that you're like, I'd have a beer with Guy Gardner. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just to see what that motherfucker would say. Type of thing, and hot girl is the hot girl type of thing. Like, again, if you want somebody to explain to you the origins of hot girl, you're gonna be there for like a week and you still not understand what the fuck just happened.
As somebody who reads some comics but not all comics, I could say I know the origin story of hot girl. You don't need to hear it. It's not that interesting.
It's really not, and it's also convoluted because they've changed it 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
You also don't need to know Superman's origin over again.
You know what happened. You know what happened.
Kind for Doom Planet, kindly couple.
Yep.
Superman. The end.
Yep.
You also don't even need to know.
You don't even need to know that.
Any of these things.
He's just a guy. He's the guy with the S on his chest, and he saves people, and he flies around. He's Superman. Who cares where he came from?
You don't need to know why they hired Clark Kent. Like, you don't need to. You generally don't need to know these things.
Yeah.
You've watched them all. You've watched one. You've watched them all.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to the origin stuff.
Great.
So it is great. So it just starts right off the bat. Action right away. It tells you like it does almost like a Star Wars where it's like here's some text.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I don't have any issues with it because I didn't need to know the beginning of Star Wars. But Star Wars is like, look, we're gonna catch you up real quick and then we're gonna start right away.
Sure.
It's that kind of idea.
Yeah.
And it's fun as hell. It's just the action is really great. The savings are really heartwarming. There's super heartwarming moments because James Gunn is very good at that.
Yep.
And by the time it was done, I was like, I didn't want this to end. And unlike a lot of those other superhero movies, it doesn't feel like it's trying to start a whole new like set of setups. They're there, but like it doesn't feel like when you watch Batman v Superman and it stops the movie to be like, oh, we got to look through this email to find out about all of the heroes that are coming through. It's like, you'll find out about them eventually, maybe. Who knows?
I have to. Okay, so here's a question. I liked but did not love Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise for me, each one was a little bit like, none of them were bad, but each one I liked a little bit less than the one before. Would you say that it was better than the Guardians of the Galaxy sequels?
I think it's better than the sequels, but that's because the sequels tend to focus on like one very specific person.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one focuses on everybody.
Right.
And this one feels like it's supposed to focus on Superman, so that's kind of the point with this one. But it doesn't feel like. The problem with 3 is that you decided to be like, hey, you want to know everything about Rocket Raccoon? I'm like, I didn't really need to. Like, you told me enough to understand him as a person and as a character, and the fact that, like, because there's a lot of that, especially in the first one, when you see like all the shit on him, and then how like annoyed he is that people are calling him rodent. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, I don't really need to know much more than that. And Game of Gunn's like, but what if I told you everything? Like, I don't need to know. But also, what if it was super depressing? Again, I didn't need to know any of this.
Yeah,
you could have done the whole rest of the story exactly the same without all that, and I would have been fine.
Yeah,
or this doesn't have to worry about it. It's just this is more like the way 2 almost feels, where it's just like, look, you know everything that's going on. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know what fucking all of the backstory of some of these people, even though 2 still does some of that.
Yeah.
But it still feels like that, but even without doing that. It's, you know, actually it's a little more the way Suicide Squad is, or the Suicide Squad is, because it gives some backstory to some people, but it's usually like small doses the way the Suicide Squad was.
Just enough to get you invested.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to fucking...
Yeah, and even the backstory gives you, it's like a person just being, like, it's almost the way Katana is in the first Suicide Squad.
Right.
This is Katana.
Right.
If she does this, this will happen.
Yeah.
So it's Lex Luthor going, this is this guy.
Yeah.
This is what happened with them. Can I kill Superman now? That's literally what, like, one of the seeds kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? You have me. And also, it's the most comic accurate you'll ever see Lex Luthor in any movie so far.
Excellent.
And it's wonderul for that reason.
That's great. I really can't wait to go see it. I'm probably gonna hold off on the opening weekend here, but I'm probably gonna go see it soon. I watched the John Wick Ballerina, and I'm not gonna talk about that because I thought it was, as most John Wick movies, fine. It was fine. No John Wick has been better than the first John Wick.
Ana
Fight
de
me.
Armas, Jeff.
I love Ana de Armas. Like, I'm not a like, oh my god, that lady's so hot celebrity guy. But Ana de Armas is just fucking smoking.
She's very pretty.
I really like her a lot, and I think she's a good actress, and I like her and all the stuff that I've seen her in. And this, it was just like, it was fine, but could somebody just give her a dog and then kill it, and then we could get on with it instead of this convoluted fucking plot? Anyway, I want to talk about something else real quick, because we got to get into it. Last week, I finished listening to this insane book saga as an Audible thing. It was recommended as from this guy that I watch on YouTube that does anime stuff, and he was like, if you like anime, you'll probably like this book franchise. And so,
What's it called?
It's called well, it's got some different names. It's called the Cradle series, and it's by an author named Will White, W-I-G-H-T.
Is DMX in it?
No. No. And what it is it's like, it starts out as this kind of like vaguely, or not vaguely, it's very like kind of Eastern inspired. It's like a world where people have, where when you turn 8 years old, you get a superpower. You get a power. Like, you do a test, and when the test happens, you get a power. You get a path, and then you got to go down this path. And so some people are good at like fighting, and some people are good at like making
so
stuff.
it's like it's not one that just happens. It's a chosen path.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like when you turn 7, you go and you put your hand in this bowl of water, and it turns into a different type of water, and that determines whether you're like a fighter.
Gryffindor.
Right. Exactly. And the main character of the first book is called Unsold, because the very beginning, I'm spoiling the first 20 pages. Trust me, you got a long way to go from here. Is that the main character? He doesn't have a path, and everybody's like, "Oh, boo! You're the worst. You don't have powers.
Oh, one of those.
You suck. We're all gonna pick on you because you suck so bad." And then some shit happens, and then the dude gets to do a thing, and then he leaves, and then it turns out, maybe he was the strongest one after all.
He has all the paths.
He was the special guy this whole time. The thing is that it's 12 books. And
It's 12 books.
it's 13 books.
That's more books.
It's 12. It's 12 main books, and then there's one other one.
Okay, that makes
There's like
sense.
a series of short stories that happen after the last book.
Okay,
or
that's
that
interesting.
Go back in, and it's just more.
Yeah.
It's just like if you want some more. And the thing is that it is very anime in that, like, there's this very clear like advancement power level system.
Oh, okay, it's
where
one of those.
people level up to be stronger and stronger and stronger, and every book is about hitting the next like strength thing. And like, it's like an anime to the point where when you get to the end of the last book, we're like in some fucking like cosmic shit. Like,
okay.
we start out with this guy where everybody's like, "Sweep the floor, Cinderella. You suck." Like, I don't have a path. I'm garbage. I'm an unsold. And by the end, people, it's like Gurren Lagann, right? It starts with like, "I don't want to listen to the guy in my village," and it ends with people throwing galaxies at each other. And
That sounds fun, though.
each one of them is about 8 hours long. It's not exactly the world's twistiest story. Like, most of what's interesting about it comes from There's a bunch of characters. There's kind of a little team that groups up together. There's different like factions.
So Jeff, I'm gonna ask one question.
Yeah.
How many people are defeated with the power of friendship?
Let's see. All of them? Maybe? That's an interesting... I don't know. I'd have to do some mental math, but a lot.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. A lot.
I'm sold then, yeah.
It's relatively formulaic. Each book is about 8 hours long. The last one's 16 hours long.
Oh, Jesus. Because these are audiobooks, right?
These are audiobooks that I listen to, yeah. I think it's worth reading. I mean, it's not... Like, it's kind of YA-ish, right? It doesn't have any really explicit like sex. It doesn't have any really explicit gore.
Okay.
It's mostly that kind of like, you know, it's like fucking watching My Hero Academia, where it's like, you know, nobody's getting shot in the face, nobody's fucking each other, but then the guy hits the other guy real hard, and you're like, yeah.
Jeff, I've been on the internet. It turns out they fuck each other all the time.
Well, there is that. Yes, there is that. There is that. But yeah, it's kind of like Superman stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where
it's a superhero story. For the most part.
Yes. And it's got this very intricate like power system that's been very well thought out, where people have different paths that give them different powers, and they've got different things and all these different societies and stuff. It's very good. I'd like to highly recommend it. I was very lucky in that I was listening to it kind of one book a month on Audible because I have the credits, so you get one credit every month. So instead of buying a $20 book, you just spend a credit to get the next one. But then, like in the middle of book 7, they were like, "All of this series is on sale for $3 a piece," and I was like, "Give me the last 5 right now!" Like,
okay, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
And I've just been for the last like 3 or 4 months. That's what I've been doing. Instead of listening to podcasts, I've just been listening to this audiobook. It's been great. I don't know how popular it is. So this may be like a Dungeon Crawler Carl thing where everybody already knows about it, and I'm just coming to the party real late. But
I'd never heard of it before. But then again, I haven't really been reading books in a while.
Yeah, I don't know if like people that are looking for stuff, and like I usually read the sci-fi stuff, but this being this kind of Asian inspired like fantasy thing. It was good. It was really good, and I liked it quite a bit. And I, you know, instead of reading or listening to podcasts on my Friday nights, I was like, I would drink beer, watch anime, and then go listen to another 10 minutes of this thing. And it was great. So the audiobook is by this guy called Travis Baldry. He does a bunch of different voices. He's really good at it.
Oh, okay.
It's real good.
Good for him.
So, yeah, I recommend everybody check it out. I will say the first book is a little slow to get started. Not that slow, but a little slow. Like I was like, I don't know, but I bought it, so I kept with it. And then the second book is slightly uneven, but it does pick up. And then by about the third book, you should be, if you get to the third one, you're definitely in it. You're off to the races. You're probably going to go all the way to the end. So, but yeah, so don't watch Ballerina. Go spend your money on fucking shonen audio books from white guys shonen audio books.
Listen to the power of friendship, friends.
That's right. That's right. All right, with that, we've already gone over time. Let's jump in. We had a Ghost of Yōtei State of Play this week, a gameplay deep dive. Which I watched. Michael got a chance to see a couple things, but I think you didn't get a chance to watch it live.
No,
right?
I was on my way here because it started at the time my work ended, if I recall.
Yeah,
but no, that's Ghost of Tsushima was a fantastic, wonderful game.
Yep.
Knowing that they've made a sequel and that it also isn't just like a direct thing.
Yep.
Like this is what 200 years later is what somebody said.
Some amount of time.
Something
I don't remember.
really far off.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it interesting. So you don't have to worry about being like, well, I didn't really play the first one. I'm like, I'm sure it doesn't matter as much as you think it's going to on this one.
It really doesn't matter nearly as much as playing Death Stranding 1 does before playing Death Stranding 2.
It's a different type of sequel type
Some
of thing.
people are like, you could play Death Stranding 2. You could start there. And I'm like, you can. You shouldn't. But
you definitely should not.
So anyway, we did a pretty big deep dive here. I don't know. There's like a couple things to talk about in here. Nothing that's like huge. They talk about the backstory, right? We got this young lady. Her family got killed by a bunch of dudes, and then they left her alive. You thinking back in samurai times they would know better than to leave children alive to come seek their vengeance on you one day, but
I don't know. None of them had ever saw The Quick and the Dead, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess that movie didn't come out until hundreds of years later.
Yeah.
So
nobody knew.
They show kind of an interesting thing in the beginning here, where when the main character comes back to their village, that's like a ruin, but they have like a single button press that will let you go back to the past, so you can like.
Oh.
switch between the present and the past just for like exploration and kind of like walking around, kind of like what the Halo switch between versions.
Yeah,
button.
almost. Yeah, lets her like reminisce about her old life.
Yeah. Which is fine and everything, but I'm gonna need to see somebody get their heads chopped off. I could say that like this all says at the beginning that it's captured on a PS5. It didn't say Pro, so I'm assuming that this probably runs like this on a native PS5, which if it does,
Yeah, I feel like a lot
Great.
of the trailers are like, hey, this is what you don't have to have a pro for this game to look this way.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of appreciate that because it means that people don't have to feel like they're being left out.
yeah, 100%. Even though part of me was like, well, but could you tell me how much better it runs on PS5 Pro? Because that's what I have, and I want to know how cool it is.
Yeah, I feel like none of them have done that so far. Even when Death Stranding 2 is coming out, none of them did
Yeah,
that.
it was always
I had to
like-
find that out through a Reddit post.
Captured on a PS5.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous. Like, we're just
Yeah.
watching this thing and just fucking these vistas are gorgeous, huge. Mount Fuji's now in the background everywhere. Like, they have this system. This is an interesting system where you have cards. Like when you get a quest or like a lead, you get a card, and then when people surrender, you can basically choose like which topic as this card that you want to ask them about.
Oh.
So you can get a lead on like, oh, here's a bandit camp where you can level up your like attacks, or like here's a place with ninjas, or here's
a new weapon, that type of thing.
yeah. So you get this kind of deck of cards, and then that's how they're kind of these little hand-drawn cards that you use to pick, like, to sort your quests. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
good.
really cool.
Yeah.
And like depending on what it is, kind of depends on what you're most likely getting out of it type of thing.
And you've got like you can instead of a menu, you've got a
Yeah.
nice little card system. Yeah, they kind of talk about how your reputation will change the way that people talk about you, because you've got a bounty on your head, but then you can also take other bounties. They showed a little bit of this kind of like fighting these, they showed one that was like a black powder guy that's shooting like a mortar at you. They showed another one that was like a guy called like the Crow, and he has a whole bunch of crows all around him.
Okay.
Which, it's all fucking great. Like the whole thing looks like Ghost of Tsushima, but even more so.
Yeah,
Like-
but even more gorgeous because it started on a PS5 instead
Yeah.
of like haphazardly put on one.
Yeah. They show a little bit of like traversal. One of the things I thought was really interesting is they have they just show like you have like a spyglass that you can use to like set a waypoint. They have like when they're riding, you can see that there's like these flower patches kind of interspersed amongst the land, and when you ride inside of the flower patch, it gives you a speed boost.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
So it's like cinematic, and
gives-
it has a mechanical purpose.
it gives you, because I used to just do that for the fuck of it. Because
Yeah.
I liked seeing how cool it looked.
With little petals kind of coming up and everything. Yeah. Let's see. They talk a little bit about the kind of little side stuff. They make a big deal out of like you can kind of go wherever you want, do whatever you want. They do say there's a bunch of different weapons this time. There's like katanas, but then there's like the big one, the odachi or whatever,
Oh,
like
okay.
twin swords, little chain ball thing, spears, that kind of thing.
So it's going all in on like having way more than before.
Yeah. I mean, because in the first one you just had a sword, right?
We had the
Did
sword,
you?
but you also had like your small weapon, your sub weapons.
Oh, like
essentially.
the Tanto, right?
Like, yeah,
Like
you
the
could
smaller
use
one.
other things, but for the most part, you mostly just stab things to death with your sword.
Okay. In here they talk a lot about how like the large sword is good for big enemies because it cuts through defense.
Yeah.
But then they also made a big deal about saying that if you get hit really hard, you will drop your weapon.
Oh,
And that you can also disarm enemies
and then use their weapons.
and use their weapons. And there's like a lot of, it seems just like, again, Ghost of Tsushima plus, right? Like,
And that's really fucking cool.
and
And
they
the fact
all,
and you're so easy to change on the fly.
yeah, it's just one of the little like sub menus. So you can just open a menu and they're like, boop, boop.
I'm a big fan of that, like just switching weapons like mid-fight.
Yeah, I always get just locked into one. I'm just like I just want to use the one.
Well, I find myself like doing that when I feel like I don't, like at least in the games with guns, because I don't feel, sometimes like I don't think I have time to reload real quick.
Yeah,
because I've been doing that in Death Stranding a lot. Like I'll pull out my machine gun, shoot a guy, pull out my pistol, shoot a guy, switch to my shotgun, shoot a guy, because I'm just like shit, I don't have time to reload.
Yeah, there's also ranged weapons. They talk about bows and guns and longbows and stuff like that. And yeah, it still looks like it has a lot
still
of
that stealth like way of doing different things.
Kind of Assassin's Creed style sneaking around and looking for guys, and then, you know, kind of challenging specific people in order to get information to get to the next guy up the chain type of thing.
I like seeing the different long range stuff too. It's not just the bow. You know, shoot him with a gun.
Shoot him with a gun. Yeah. Let's see. They show you've got a dog pal. I showed Michael this part where it's like when you do a little showdown, now you can show down with two guys because your dog can like also rip people's throats out,
which is fucking wonderful.
They show this really cool little thing where you can camp out and you can like prepare food for buffs and you can do other stuff. But what's cool is that people that are like associated with you will come to your camp, and sometimes like if an NPC has a reward for you, instead of you going to them, they'll just come to you and give you the reward. And
that's
it's like
wonderful.
Great, that's amazing, and I love it, and thank you. And why is something as trivial as that? Like I'm like, fucking finally! Like
it's because there's so many games where you just you're like, oh, you got to help this guy, and then you got to go all the way back to the village, then you talk to him, get that shit. Or you've been doing more missions since you've done that, so you're not even close to them anymore. Yeah. So that's just such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Let's see. They also showed off that they have some. They have a bunch of cosmetic options. Obviously, you could change between different like charms and different outfits and colors and dyes and all that stuff.
That's really nice to know.
Yeah, I like the one that just kind of looks like a housewife. I just want like beat up a bunch of ninjas.
That's pretty great. There's a lot of really good ones here.
Like, is there a skin for the sword that makes it a frying pan, like in Kung Fu Hustle?
Kung Fu Hustle, yeah.
They talk about how the music is put together. They put some tracks from it on Spotify and some of the other services. If you want to go, they put 2 tracks on today. Once this was over, they talked about they brought back the photo mode. Obviously, the Ghost of Tsushima people really like that.
Well, it's such a beautiful game. The photo mode is just fucking super useful.
Yeah, they got the native Japanese lip sync in by default instead of having to wait for DLC, which is nice. And then they
still surprised they did that with the first game.
Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. Then they talked about how they've got Kurosawa mode back, but then they've got 2 new director modes. These are silly. These are very silly. One of them is a Takeshi Miike mode, which I'm like, okay. And basically it like zooms the camera in a little closer to the main character and then just like amps up the blood and mud. So blood and mud splatter are both just like super increased.
It's pretty great. It's a nice way of doing, because Tarantino is a big fan of doing this too. Yeah. So it's basically a Tarantino mode at the same time. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's just fucking fascinating that they did that.
And then what's the other one is Watanabe mode from Shichiro Watanabe, and it's just lo-fi beats. Some Samurai Champloo lo-fi. Not even that soundtrack, but like it's a lo-fi beats curated by him specifically.
Really?
Yes, to play in the background while you're doing your exploration. And
that's wonderful.
Doesn't appear that anything else has changed really. Like all it says is just that.
It just wants the tone of Samurai Champloo, which is very heavily influenced by lo-fi beats.
So yeah, that happened.
God, I used to love that show to death.
And then they showed off there's a PS5 Pro and controller. There's like a limited edition one in gold. There's one in black, black on white and gold on white. That's fine. I still, I've always been a little like, I don't know why you guys keep offering I'm not going to buy a new console just to get the plate. The plates come off. Sell me the plate, and I might buy it.
It's
but
the
like,
weirdest thing about new console bundles. And not even just now. I mean, even the before.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you want the special Spider-Man PS4 bundle? I'm like, well, I do. But the problem is I've owned a PS4 forever now.
Yeah.
And I don't have a reason to spend more on another one.
Exactly.
Type of thing. So that's where we're at with a lot of those. But luckily, because of the way the PlayStation was, at least the original one was, you could buy all that stuff separately.
Oh, the PS5.
But every single time they would sell out like that. Is the problem with it.
And they don't really offer them. They don't really offer them for the Pro.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything pop up for the Pros ones.
And yeah, that was direct. It was about 25, 30 minutes. It was short and sweet. Game looks beautiful. It's coming out October 2nd.
It's not too far off, all things considered.
I couldn't be more hyped for it. Like, all that stuff sounded like great. I don't care about the stupid, it's a lady, the wokes. I don't care. I want to cut people's heads off, and I don't care whether it's a lady or a man, as long as it's not a child. If it was a kid, if it was like an 8-year-old, if Ghost of Yōtei was like an 8-year-old samurai, I'd
Jeff,
be like,
don't tell me you wouldn't play the shit out of that.
I don't know, man. They'd have to make it really cool for me to want to play as an 8-year-old.
Baby geniuses, the Ghost of Tsushima.
The whole time? No. I'm like, man or woman, I don't care. Children? Fuck children.
The baby Ghost of Yotei. I'd play all of these things.
It looks so gorgeous. It looks so good. I can't wait to see how much better it even looks on the PS5 Pro. All the traversal stuff looks just as beautiful, if not twice as beautiful as the first one. In fact, having the giant Mount Fuji in the background is so cool looking.
Oh, so this one uses golden birds instead of the foxes thing.
Yes.
Actually, no, I think there were still birds in somewhat in the last one. But
yeah, there
was always like a specific
shrines.
Animal.
Yeah. Good stuff. I don't know, Michael. You got any more thoughts before we move on?
Dogs are woke now, I guess. I don't know.
Dogs are woke.
I don't know. I just wanted to make a woke joke, and that's all I could come up with.
Okay.
Because it's got a dog in it. Fuck it.
It's got a dog. Yeah. Don't put a dog in here. The dogs are super woke. I was looking at the bad reviews for Superman because I'm always curious, and one of them was like, I guess you'll like this movie if you're a dog person. And I'm like, is having a dog in your movie and you don't like dogs all that much, and so you're like, fuck that movie, it's got a dog in it?
It's very strange. I've heard people be like weird about it. It's like, come on, guys. It's just a dog that behaves kind of funny.
I don't know. I live in Austin, so there's just dogs everywhere. Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
I think you're legally obligated to like this movie then, if that's the case.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Let's go through some news. We got a lot of weird news this week.
I heard about this one because I showed up on my Facebook feed.
Yeah. So, speaking of Sony and the PlayStation, The Last of Us Part 2, Michael, do you need another reason to play The Last of Us Part 2 again?
Definitely not.
I have played it one time, and I was like, that was enough times.
I bought it on sale, and I never touched it.
Maybe too many times. I don't know. I'm not the Last of Us 2 guy. That's Chris.
No.
Actually, that's a lot of people that we know.
Well, a lot of people really like Last of Us 2, except for us.
Yeah. I just, I want to read about the guy that gets so powerful with the friendship, not like everybody wants to ruin their lives to death. But anyway,
the power of friendship.
Sorry. We're not getting on The Last of Us. There's now a new way to play the game where you play it in chronological order.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, The Last of Us 2, a lot of the story is in a different order.
Yeah.
And most of it involves like flashbacks that Ellie has at some point. So now you can just see all that stuff from the beginning instead of you sort of slowly seeing it as the game progresses.
Yeah, I couldn't really find out that much information about it, but I am curious to know whether it basically does what I had said I thought the game should do, which is cut back and forth between Ellie and Abby.
Well, according to what I read, it's supposed to. Like, it's
okay.
It says the mode's supposed to take Ellie and Abby's story and sort of intertwine them in the order that you're doing it.
Okay.
Instead of just doing the time skips and the flashbacks and everything.
Because
together.
that was one of the things I really didn't like about the game was you to play all the way through Ellie's story, like all the way to the end, and then they're like, okay, rewind the tape and let's do it again.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's supposed to be like, but I don't know enough because I didn't look too deeply into it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm never going to touch this,
yeah.
so I don't care as much as I should.
It's weird because part of me wonders whether I would enjoy it more that way, whether I would enjoy it more as like these two protagonists that keep moving into and out of each other's stories, because the problem was that, like, you know, you go all the way to the end of the Ellie story and then it's like you start over. So the stuff that Ellie was doing at the beginning of her story that crosses over with the Abby story, it's like that happened like 8 hours ago, man.
Well,
like,
it runs into an issue that I like to call the original cut of Arrested Development season 4.
Sure,
which is that's how that story was told as well.
Yeah,
is you would start off an episode, you're like, this is what Job has been up to since the end of 3.
Right.
So you watch this long series of things that happens to Job, and it's a great thing. But sure, it's great because it's Job.
Yeah.
But there's like stuff that happens in between.
Yeah.
Where you watch somebody else's part that does the exact same thing. It starts off as well. Starts off where season 3 ends.
Yeah.
Get all the way to a point, and then it's like, yeah, you remember when that happened? I'm like, that was like a while back. You want me to remember that right away? And if you do, it's great. But if you don't, like, you're just confused. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. Like, not. Let's be clear here. Not curious enough to go and play it. Actually,
I'm sure we'll watch it on YouTube or something.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me that, like, I don't know. Like, I have a question for Last of Us 2 fans. I'm going to record something with Chris later this week. Maybe I'll ask him where it's just like, are you? You know what? No, I'm not even going to say that, because I just got done playing replaying Death Stranding 1 for like the 3rd time. I was going to ask, aren't you tired of playing Death Stranding 2 or Last of Us 2 over and over again? But of course they're not, because if you really like a thing, you want to, you know, I've watched Mad Max Fury Road like 40 times.
That's true. I think the main thing about The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 is the reason we're not that into it as much is that it's just a really depressing story overall.
It is. It's just not for me. Like,
like, as much as I like the first one a lot, I beat it a couple times, but one is because I beat it on like the two versions at the time.
Yeah.
Because I started the PS5 version, but I never finished the PS5 version. But I beat the PS3 one and I beat the PS4 one.
Yeah.
And then I started the PS5 one because the show was coming out. And I wanted to see maybe like, oh, maybe I'll play the way as the show is progressing. But then about midway, I'm like, oh, I just remembered. I don't really like this game that much enough to do this. Whereas the Death Stranding, we just really want to talk about this.
I messed you up.
Whereas The Last of Us 2 is just so incredibly depressing that I don't even want to finish it the first time.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's a game I can't fathom why somebody would rewatch or replay multiple times, but I also love BoJack Horseman,
right?
And I've rewatched that show a lot too.
Sure,
it's also very depressing, so I do understand it from that point.
And it might be interesting to be because you rewatched Arrested Development when they recut that season that you were just describing into more traditional episodes. So that's kind of similar.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Also, there's some Uncharted costumes that you can get for the spin-off mode now.
You can turn Joel into Nathan Drake.
You can tell Joel into Nathan Drake.
So you can watch Nathan Drake. I'm not going to finish that sentence, but you can watch that, I guess.
Only if you could get a costume for Abby that turned her into Elena. Then I would go back and replay that game.
You want to know the other reason I would replay it? If there was a Donut Drake costume.
Sure. Oh, Donut Joel?
For Joel.
Donut Joel?
I would play use Donut Joel.
Donut everybody.
Except for Abby, her arms are still gigantic.
That's right. Yeah. So that came out. If you need another reason to go play it, go back and check it out. Speaking of The Last of Us, the game director for The Last of Us Online apparently is spooling up a new game development studio in Japan. He was one of the guys who was working on that canceled multiplayer game, and then apparently he's moving to Japan, and he's setting up a new studio there to make a new game. So, which sounds good.
It's called The First of Us.
Yeah. It's not clear right now whether we don't know anything about the game. We don't know anything about anything.
He's just got an idea. He's got a dream. Yep. He doesn't have enough to really give you anything, so that's fair.
Yeah. This story is a segue.
It's a good segue,
to the fact that, speaking of Japanese game development, Capcom was going to have a lecture at CDEC CEDEC, which is a Japanese game developer conference, where they were going to talk about Monster Hunter Wilds,
Hunter Wilds,
Wilds, and like optimization and game development.
Okay.
Because they just put out this patch that everybody hates. But they said that since so Michael, you might know more about this than I do.
I have not actually.
Okay. Apparently, like last week, they had, after the Capcom thing, they had a big update for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh no, I know. Okay, I know a little bit about that.
And
update.
apparently, it fucked up a lot. Like, it tanked the game's performance, and it had a lot of issues. And so people on the internet, they saw this and had a
very nice, normal,
a very normal reaction.
They went about their day as normal.
Just they said, "Why? I bet they'll fix it tomorrow or soon.
I'll just play another game." You know, that kind of thing.
And then they logged off. They definitely didn't go to the Steam page and start spamming overwhelmingly negative.
No,
comments.
Of course not. They're normal, regular human beings.
They definitely didn't start emailing developers at Capcom threatening to kill them.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to hunt you and wear you.
Here's the quote: "We take customer opinions and requests seriously as they are indispensable for improving our products and services, and we strive to improve quality. On the other hand, we have confirmed instances of slander, libel, denigration, intimidation, threats to harm or disrupt business, and harassment against our executives and employees by name."
Jesus Christ.
Furthermore, let's see. Furthermore, in severe cases, we may contact police or lawyers to take legal action, including criminal proceedings. And they canceled the lecture.
That's a shame.
It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I don't have to. If there's anybody listening to this who would do that, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I know that most of you won't. I know that all of you are like, what the fuck? That's an overreaction if I've ever heard one.
Look, grandmas, I know you don't have long in this world, but
Right.
don't try to murder everybody.
Right. But just, wait for them to fix Monster Hunter Wilds and stay off of Reddit and fucking Twitter. Like,
yeah, the only thing I knew about the update was like the stuff that people were waiting for, and one of them was like, no longer sparkle when you have your buffs or whatever, because that was a pain in the ass for a lot of people.
Oh.
Because they would have these
because they kept getting sniped by snipers on the other team. What the fuck is that?
Well, no, it's because whenever you wear an armor, you're like, well, I want to be able to look at like the colors and stuff I put, instead of looking like I'm Super Saiyan at all times,
right? Type
of thing. And so that's one of the reasons people wanted that for so long.
Okay,
but I didn't realize it fucking broke the game. So.
I'm sorry, I didn't look into it because I just kind of assumed that you would know. But
well, I haven't been playing Monster Hunter in a long time.
That's true.
I've been in a relationship, Jeff, and it turns out when you're in a relationship, you don't have time for hunting for hours on end.
Yeah. So yeah, just be cool, you guys. Be normal and don't threaten developers' lives. With that, you know what? We're a few minutes early, but I think that we're going to go ahead and take a break because we've got a whole bunch of kind of Microsoft stuff and industry news.
There's a lot.
It's coming up. And so, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and take a break. But when we come back, we got more news. So stick around. And we're back. And we've got more news left here on the RageSelect podcast, and a lot of it is just shitty industry fuckery. We got a lot of shitty industry fuckery this week. We're going to start with this is such a weird thing where an executive at EA in Japan had some words where they talked about kind of the ongoing churn and the horrible bullshit happening at Microsoft right now.
Yeah, when somebody works for EA is telling you that, you have fucked up.
Right. But don't you worry, EA. Don't you worry. I got you a little bit later in this podcast, but we'll come back to you. It's funny because he talks about how the word restructure in Japan is that means firing. It doesn't. They
know full well what that means.
There's no good connotation here.
No.
It's no. When you say restructure, that means fire. He also talked about talked about laying off workers, and then there was some discussion in there about the Japanese when they want you to quit and they put you in a room and don't give you any work, and then they just shame you into sitting in a room, and all Americans are like, fuck, man, I take that job. Yeah, put me in the
so fast.
Put me in the room with nothing to do. I'm not going to be like, oh no, the shame to my family. I'm going to be like, oh yay, my phone.
Yeah,
like 8 hours of phone and a paycheck.
I'm gonna pull out my Switch and see if they'll try and stop me.
Wait, what the fuck? You gonna pay me to sit here for 8 hours and not do work? Holy shit, that's amazing.
We'll play every Final Fantasy at my desk now.
Like, yeah,
see
but
what
all your coworkers will hate you, and it's like, joke's on you. I hate all my coworkers.
Yeah, they're like, they're not going to invite you. That's the funny thing about my life, because they're like, they're not going to invite you to go have a drink. I'm like, I don't drink. They gonna go fucking drink themselves stupid, and I'll stay here.
I'm gonna just drink at the office,
collecting my paycheck. I'm gonna do overtime at this job.
This is like a game of chicken, except that like it's like, oh boy, you know. I was about to make a joke about hand jobs, but I'm not going to. Anyway, the one thing that he did say that I thought was really interesting was talking about how he had two interesting things to say. One was that modern corporations seem to want a return on investment as soon as humanly possible, and how that's just like really bad for games, because sometimes games need more time. Sometimes, they're not a short-term investment. They're a long-term term investment where you work on them for many years, and then when they come out, like, you may have a hit on your hands. You may have something big.
And unlike movies, you can't just make small changes to it.
Yes.
So you can't just be like, let's go back in and do some reshoots. It's like, no, you got to do a lot to make even the smallest thing different.
However, he also talked about how he thinks that canceling like games that have been in development hell for like 7 to 10 years is a real shame, because like, who knows, it could have ended up being real good. And I'm like, look, man, I'm on the side of the game developers over here, but like, when I hear that a game has been in development for 10 years and hasn't come out yet, I'm like, okay, what? Why? Why has this game been in development for a decade? Like,
when I hear that, though, I think that's a very Japanese thing to think, though.
Yeah.
Because Japan, for some reason, has this weird thing where if something's canceled, it means you're a failure.
Right.
And so they'd rather just not feel like a failure and be like, so where is Tekken Cross Street Fighter? They're like, I swear it's real. It exists somewhere. We've been still working on it. Nobody, they have never canceled Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Did you just push the publish button on Devil's Third?
Exactly.
What? Why?
Exactly. They don't believe in failure. They believe in so they don't want to look like failures, which is why, again, stuff like Tekken Cross Street Fighter has never officially been canceled.
Right.
And you'll ask them about stuff. They're like, hey, you're going to make a sequel to this thing? And they're like, well, And so they never say no and they never say yes.
Yeah.
Like, because they're so weird about that.
Yep. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. I think I might have switched a few things. Oh, no, never mind. No, I got it all right. Yeah, so that happened. Also, we got a little bit of shade from the founder of Arcane.
Arcane that got shut down specifically.
He left way before they got shut down. But
that doesn't mean he doesn't not have words about it.
Yes, but basically his beef, his axe to grind was about Game Pass and how like. And I'm sure that, like, from a behind-the-scenes perspective, Game Pass looks a lot different than it does to
consumers.
You and me, who are like, $20 a month for all the games I can play. Fucking sign me up.
Yeah.
This is the golden corral of goddamn video games. Sure.
It's the best.
Sure.
If you use your Xbox and PC a lot.
Yeah. Like, I'll try out the altars, and then if I don't like it, I won't feel ripped off. Because I didn't spend $70 on the altars. But he says that he thinks that eventually gamers will probably learn to hate Game Pass just because it's devaluing games in general, because there are so many and because people can still kind of get paid by putting their games on a thing like Game Pass, that it's basically like you've short-circuited the system of making something good and then being really financially rewarded for it by getting what could potentially be a smaller payment up front and then losing out on huge sales if you put out something. Like if Baldur's Gate 3 had been on Game Pass, it probably would have been... It would have had a significantly less profit, right? Because they would have gotten paid up front, and then it would have been, the sort of thing where those profits got eaten into, as opposed to like, holy shit, I gotta go spend $70 on Death Stranding. It just came out, type of thing. So
yeah, it's the Netflix issue, because this comes up all the time when it comes to stuff like Netflix, Peacock, Paramount, like the stuff that sometimes are like, hey, this is a Peacock original,
right?
Which you rarely hear because nobody wants to say the word Peacock.
Twisted Metal too,
but yeah, and the reason for that is because is the same issue where like a lot of people are like, hey, I'm a comedian and I make comedy movies, and I'm losing out on money consistently because I don't have the same protections money-wise the way I would have, say, during when fucking Old School came out.
Right.
Because there's a lot of R-rated comedies that were just fucking huge hits and making huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
Because the budgets weren't the highest to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're still making those movies, but everybody's like, well, there's no market for comedies in theaters.
Right.
And so they keep getting thrown into Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever, or Amazon, and you find yourself being like, well, there's all these really good games, or these really good movies, but there's so much shit on it that I don't know what's good and what's not anymore.
Sure.
So whereas if it comes on a theater, I'm like, well, that's a professionally made comedy,
right,
starring Will Ferrell or something.
Yeah.
So of course it's got to be great. But now if Will Ferrell is on Amazon making, say, a movie with Drew Barrymore about weddings, I don't know. I don't trust that movie. It's a straight to streaming movie.
Yeah.
And so games that are like straight to Game Pass run into the risk of that happening to them now.
Yeah.
Because they could run, because this is the only thing I'll give Game Pass credit for, is they haven't done what Steam has done yet, which is just add whatever to it.
Oh yeah,
because if they wanted to, they could be like, Game Pass has thousands of games,
sure,
and like one of them is fucking hentai poker number 5 or something. Like that's the only reason they haven't done it.
Yeah,
or that's the only reason it's still considered a good thing so far, is because it's not full of those games. Because even the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, and the Nintendo Store have those games.
Yeah, but
they're not part of their like large, hey, if you give us this much money, you'll be able to play this game thing.
Sure.
Luckily.
Now, I will say that, like, from a developer's perspective, I can really understand that that's difficult, that it makes things really difficult, and it shuts down, it gives you less through lines for making headway into the industry,
yes,
right? Like you kind of want that safety, because there's a lot of people who are just like, I'm just going to play whatever's on Game Pass. I'm just going to play whatever's on PS Plus. I'm going to play a free-to-play game, and it does give you a leg up. As a consumer, though, I will say that, like, you are correct that this could end up biting consumers in the ass in the long term. But let's all just take a step back and be, over the last like 5 to 10 years, the industry has not been kind to consumers.
No,
like the cost of games go up, the DLC stuff, the microtransaction stuff, the battle passes, the day one bullshit, the like taking chunks of the game out, and like this fucking goes back to like was it Asura's Wrath?
Asura's Wrath.
Asura's Wrath, where they put the actual ending was DLC, right?
And you can't get that shit anymore, as far as I know.
Or like holding out like the pivotal character in Mass Effect. 3.
He was a day one DLC.
Day one DLC that you can't get if you buy it. Like, you know, and that's like, these are like decades old complaints. Like, hell, the fighting game community has been like, there's like 8 more people on this disc, and I can't play them because I didn't pay for the key to unlock them.
That's all it is, too, usually.
And I think that, when we go back to last year, we look at the sales figures of something like Balatro or like Astrobot or games like that if you make a good game, that people will generally be on your side.
Yes.
And the thing is that with a lot of Game Pass, like, you have the ability to try out games that you may not want to spend money on, because gaming has also become really way more expensive, especially if you've got, like, you know, a life, especially if you're not going to Popeyes Chicken like me. Like, I get paid for this shit, but like for a normal person, fuck, the Nintendo Switch 2 is like $80 a video game.
Yeah,
I know it's slowly gone up, but $80 is a lot of fucking money. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, it's not like movies and television show, or not more specific to movies. There's not like a go to YouTube and rent fucking John Wick 1 for $3 type of thing.
Right.
You can't go to the Nintendo store and go, hey, you want to play Super Mario Wonder for like 3 days?
Yeah.
Give us like $4 type of thing.
Right.
And if you or here's the first like 5 levels or something for $5.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. And like PlayStation has tried to alleviate it by giving you the demos option, where it's like you can play the first like what, like 45 minutes of a game or something like that?
I think it's 2 hours.
I can't remember. It's something pretty. It's something pretty decent, depending on what the game is. But even then, there's some games where the first few hours are like tutorial, and then you never really really get a good grasp of what the game is even after that. And so you're not having the same experience you would if you tried out a movie same way.
Yeah,
but except for Game Pass.
Yep. So, I get it. I get the Game Pass is not the best, but...
And the higher PlayStation plans before anybody says anything.
Yeah, but also, I mean, we live in a fucking shit world. Speaking of shit worlds, we had the big Microsoft layoffs last week, and we got the news kind of shortly thereafter, after we recorded the last podcast, that Turn 10, like Forza Motorsport has pretty much been completely gutted. Like, that whole team is gone, and whoever's left at Turn 10 is doing nothing but... support for Horizon,
like the current one.
Yes, like because they were alternating between like a Forza Motorsport entry and a Horizon entry.
Yeah.
But Horizon apparently has been like way more popular than just the straight up driving simulator.
I can kind of see that though.
Yeah. So it looks like a lot of the staff that's left, there's not, they're not all there, but the staff that's left at Turn 10 are no longer working on any kind of Forza Motorsport stuff. They're basically just going to be doing work for Horizon, which is developed by an outside company. God,
the thing that frustrates me about these layoffs, because I wasn't here for the actual layoff stories themselves, if I remember correctly, is that
was last week. So
fucking Xbox has just fucking removed all of their first party things. It's like you have nothing to look forward to on that console anymore.
Yeah. It's really weird how they've diluted their brand, which has value, into this like, well, Game Pass, and then you play it wherever. This is an Xbox. This Oculus Quest is an Xbox, and it's like, what if the Xbox was an Xbox? Like, fuck's sake.
Like, the thing most people are excited about on your Xbox is Helldivers 2.
Right, exactly.
It's not a normal thing to think about.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know what else people might have been excited for if they'd known about it was I switched. I went too far ahead. Okay, we got to back it up. We got to... you know, people... Actually, no, I had a great segue for that. God damn it.
It was going to be the segue.
I just had the wrong story in my head. You know what people might be excited for if they got to play it on the Xbox was apparently that game that got canceled last week from the Neverwinter, or the Elder Scrolls Online.
I heard about this.
People. Like, it was supposed to be like a looter shooter kind of in a dark Blade Runner-esque universe with kind of like Destiny, but like in this kind of city. And apparently that poor fucking team, when they showed it to the executives, there's this anecdote that's going around that was like, Matt Booty had to take the controller away from Phil Spencer to continue the meeting because he wouldn't stop playing the like demo that they brought to him.
Yeah,
because he was so enamored with it. And then they're like, oopsie doodle, I guess that's canceled. Fuck you guys. And I'm like, this sucks. That sounds like a game I would actually like to play. Like, what are you doing canceling the games I would like to play and then keeping Forza Horizon? I don't know.
It keeps happening. And because it's funny because I got reminded of a very recent cancellation because it showed up on my Facebook memories of its announcement.
Yeah.
Which was the Black Panther game.
Oh, yeah.
2 years ago, to this day of us recording, that was the day they announced it. It was I found it was the Facebook post I shared. Like, us and Marvel Games and EA are proud to announce the single-player Black Panther game.
Yep.
And I immediately went straight to that post and put a comment. It was the first comment that's shown up in there in 2 years, and went, "We're proud to announce that we canceled the shit out of this game."
Yep.
Because fuck you guys.
Not just that, but man, hearing that had like the Nemesis system in it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck.
And all
you
these
guys.
amazing, interesting choices depending on who you chose because of it.
Yep.
That sounds so much fun.
Sounds great. Sounds like a game I'd like to play. But I don't understand how if the executives, if the C-suite are excited about your video game and then it gets canceled, like, what the fuck does it take in this industry?
You gotta hold Phil Spencer hostage, apparently.
Yeah.
They should never let Phil Spencer let go of that controller.
We also had, in the wake of the firings, and okay, let me tell you this story. Let me tell you how it's framed, and then just like back it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
So Microsoft sent out this big email asking people or inviting people to come to this seminar, or not seminar. It's like it was like this talk about how developers are using AI in their like development and publishing arms, and like how they've integrated AI into their various systems. How they're using about AI in our tools and processes to make the game development and publishing experience more efficient. And this email went out like the day that they laid off 9,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
And people are like, can you believe this shit? And I'm like, yeah. Whoever the marketing guy is that sent out this email, he didn't know.
He had no idea.
He didn't know.
He had no clue that, hey, by the way, he probably got fired too.
Right. And it's not like I've never met an HR person who was like, ooh, you know what we should do is we should shut down all the social media and make sure that nobody sends out an email that's poorly timed today when we're laying off 9,000 people. Of course not. They canceled, they fucking closed down Tango Gameworks like within 24 hours of Phil Spencer being like, you know what, we're looking for small, creative studios that have put out indie games that may not have like the most commercial appeal. And everybody's like the one you just dissolved.
It was so stupid. It was such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
So, like, everybody's kind of pushing this out. This is talking about at Gamescom. Like, we are excited to be heading to Gamescom 2025. If you will also be attending, we are offering an AI roundtable where you can provide us with feedback on how you'd like to see us use AI in our tools and processes to make game development and publishing, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, everybody's like, can you believe this shit? And I'm just like, yes, I get that it's a bad look. Like, it is a very bad look. But nobody coordinates mass firings with the fucking marketing and events team. Like,
well, here's the thing. I've worked in a corporate type jobs over the years long enough to know that no one talks to anyone.
Right.
Like, it could have, like, that guy, the guy in HR could have walked in and said to marketing, hey, by the way, we're going to lay off a whole bunch of people. Bye.
Yeah.
While the guy's mid-type.
Right.
Didn't hear anything they just said.
Right.
And well, yeah, sure, that sounds great. And like waved them off.
Yeah.
Like, they never would have, I guarantee you if that happened, they never sent an email about it. They mentioned it randomly to them and being like, hey, just remember, we're going to be laying off a bunch of people.
Right.
Just, don't do anything fucking weird. And he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. And then again, he's probably fucking reading another email that he got sent from somebody else. And then everybody's going to be like, well, how did this even happen? And they're going to start pointing fingers at each other.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to keep moving on as normal.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen again and again and again.
Yep.
Because people don't talk to each other.
They don't talk to each other. So, yeah. Well, speaking of stupid-ass bullshit that Microsoft does, we also got this story. This is what I got confused about before. I thought we were just moving right into this. John Romero of Romero Games, the lady with the silkiest hair in the video game industry, announced last week that they are canceling, that they were making a first-person action game, and it was canceled / on hold.
Was he remaking Daikatana?
I don't think so. It's funny because, yeah, every time everybody says, like, even this article is like, John Romero of Doom fame, and I'm like, don't you like, paint over Daikatana, John Romero. I remember Daikatana.
Don't you pretend that we don't remember
Don't
Daikatana.
you pretend that.
Unless you forgot Daikatana, which I assume you did.
But yeah, basically came out and said, like, here's from their quote, their tweet. We have some difficult news to share. Last night, we learned that our publisher has canceled funding for our game along with several other unannounced projects at other studios. This is a strange decision made at a high level within the publisher, well above our visibility or control. We deeply wish that we had been something, or we deeply wish that there had been anything that we could have done to prevent this outcome. Apparently, this was like an action game that they're working on. It's like an FPS. John Romero's wife works the company. She's like the social media manager, Brenda Romero. And like people pieced it together really quickly that, like, the
timing, yeah.
Fucking Microsoft owns Bethesda. Bethesda owns id Software. id Software is friends with John Romero. Probably at some point they were like, hey, John Romero, we've got a gajillion dollars laying around. Would you like to make a game that we can slap, like, from the guy who brought you Doom? Here's a new thing.
From the guy who made you his bitch, John Romero.
So people put it together really, really quickly. And then there was a big rumor going around because they also, like, laid a bunch of people off because all of their funding got cut in an afternoon. And then a lot of people were saying, well, that Romero Games, like, folded. And they didn't. In fact, John Romero came out and said that they're looking around to try to find another publisher.
And then maybe they can get the funds to hire everybody back type of thing.
Yeah, because it was like one of those horrible things where it's just like, what's your development budget? It was great. What is it today? 0. So
that's such a shitty thing about those budgets is that like they don't give it to them all up front. They're just like, well, if you ask us for it, we'll keep giving you the what you have, like your limit.
Yes.
It's like a credit card basically.
Yeah.
But then they just cut them off right away. But at least they don't owe the budget type of thing.
So yeah, it looks like they're shopping around trying to find another investor to come in and help them finish it. It sounds like they had a fair amount of like work into it.
Yeah.
That it was like in production, and then whatever they were making, it seemed like it was pretty fun. It's called Daikatana 2.
It will work this time.
What if Daikatana 2 came out and it ruled? Because only nerds like you or me know what that joke even is.
True.
Like,
and honestly, that would be the greatest reveal.
Daikatana 2
twist.
comes out, everything works. It did everything the first one said
like
it was going to.
the coolest fucking game ever made.
The coolest fucking game.
Man,
so
he would know. It would be perfection.
But the idea that I was scrolling through the news and I was like, John Romero, that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Exactly.
Like,
I sense a disturbance.
John Romero was still making video games? What?
I'd actually assumed he had stopped working on games entirely.
You know, he made another game. He made a game. He made that Empire of the Sun game that was like
him?
the Prohibition tactics game.
I did not know that was him.
Yeah, I did. Well, I think it was Romero Games. I don't know if it was him specifically.
Oh,
but
either way, I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
That explains a lot, though.
Let's see. From there, we have an update on another story from last week. I don't know if you've been following this, Michael.
No.
I got this completely wrong. Okay. So last week, brief recap. Last week, we were talking about Subnautica 2. So the company that made Subnautica, whatever they're called, Unknown Worlds? Yeah, Unknown Worlds. They were, after Subnautica 1 came out, they were bought by Perfect World Gaming from China. After Subnautica 1 did well, they were purchased from Perfect World by Krafton, which is a Korean company.
Okay.
They were working on Subnautica 2. They actually made that. You remember that game that was little miniatures tactics game?
Yeah.
And they were like, they would shake at each other and you could paint them and whatever.
Yeah, that thing was pretty fun.
So last week, the like CEO and CFO, like the top 3 people in the company, gone. And,
so did they leave, or did they get like?
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, sorry.
They were gone, and then Striking Distance Studios chief Steve Paputes came in, and he was put in charge of the team. And Krafton put out a thing where they were talking a lot about like milestones and like release dates and stuff like that. And Subnautica 2 is supposed to go into early access this year. So my assumption when I looked at all of this was the Subnautica 2 team wanted to push further out because they didn't hit milestones, and Krafton, being a really work-focused Korean company, was like, no, you're failures. You're all fired. We're going to bring in somebody who can fix this bullshit and put this out in 2025. That was what I thought last week.
It sounds like that when put that way, yeah.
Yep. It is the exact opposite.
Really?
Because this week, Krafton announced that Subnautica 2 has been delayed until 2026. And then that squirrely motherfucker Jason Schreier came along and talked to the people who got fired behind the scenes. And this is what came out. It turns out that there is a $250 million bonus that would be owed to Perfect Worlds from Krafton if Subnautica 2 releases in 2025 and sells X number of units before the year is done. And by pushing it out of 2025, this has essentially wiped that bonus out.
Completely gone.
And it has also come out that the people in charge, because the team is 100 people, had said that if we hit this bonus this year, we will distribute this bonus to the people who work here as additional bonuses.
So they worked like really hard to try to get out before 20.
As an incentive to get the game out this year. And they did. And so then the CEO, he went on Reddit and basically gave out his life story, and then talking about like with a sad heart, blah, 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 blah. And obviously he can't talk about too much. But at the end of his Reddit post, he was like, Subnautica 2 is playable and fun and could be put out at any time. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So, like, actually the complete opposite of what I thought. And what a dick move. This is like the dickest of all dick moves.
Well, you want to know what this is? This is going to sound really funny. This, if you were watching, say, a comedy where it's about a ragtag group of people and the corporate people are like, well, if you do X, Y, and Z,
right,
then maybe we'll whatever the prize is or whatever.
We won't close the rec center.
And then so say like everything's working out super great. It's like that part in like the second act where it's like everything's coming together and
right,
everyone's working as a team.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden Vince Vaughn's like offered something
right,
but it's clearly like a ploy to fuck up their plan.
Yeah.
So the big people don't have to do the payoff.
Yeah.
That's what that feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like the second act twist or the end of a second act twist that goes into a third act.
Yep.
It's fucking weird to see this in real life.
It's fucking horrifying is what it is. It sucks.
It's so stupid.
That's so bad. And then
the fact that they're allowed to do that is so fucking insane to me.
And then the fact that I mean, like, that is shitty. That is shitty on so many levels. People lost their jobs. People are probably going to be screwed out of their bonuses. But you know what else? Like, put this way further down on the outrage list, but I'm not going to get to play Subnautica 2 this year for no fucking reason. Like, they're just going to, like, I think that the way that Crafton has put it is, like, instead of that... I think that if you read between the lines, what Crafton thinks is like, instead of going into early access, we're just going to finish it and then put it out as a finished product. Now, who knows? Maybe Crafton is like, we're still going to pay you the bonus, but maybe not, because I don't understand if everything was cool. I don't understand why the 3 people at the top got fired last week.
Yeah, I don't see why you would all of a sudden change. I don't see why you would all of a sudden go full Darth Vader.
Yeah,
and be like, I've changed the terms.
Well, and then this Steve guy, they had like an all hands meeting because he's the new guy in charge.
Yeah, and
somebody was like, "What about our bonuses? I heard that they pushed it out from this year to fuck us all out of our bonuses," and he was like, I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard anything about that. I can't comment on that. But you're all doing a great job, but we're delaying the game. But you're all my favorites, and you're the best, but we are delaying the game. And I know I can't talk about the $250 million that you guys may or may not have been going to get, and you're probably not going to get now. Also, like,
absolutely ridiculous.
What a mind job for the people that work there.
I would class action sue the shit out of them so fast.
Yeah.
But I don't know what their contracts are like. That's the problem.
Anyway, yep, that's Subnautica 2 for you. Oh boy, we're way behind time. Okay, we got a lot to go through. Turns out the people from the Build a Rocket Boy guys from Mind's Eye are still insane freakos. Like,
Christ almighty. I heard about this. I saw the headline for this, but I never read into it.
They said they're going to go ahead and retool and relaunch Mind's Eye, and you're all going to see how good it was. And then they blamed the bad launch on saboteurs, internal and external. They literally said, both inside and outside the company, this game has been sabotaged. And I'm like, listen, guys, you just made a shit game. Like, I don't know what to tell you here.
It's the stupidest thing. It's like, you guys are so delusional that you thought somebody sabotaged your game, not just from the inside, but from the outside, and that they somehow succeeded in sabotaging your game.
And that's the problem. Like, that was the problem.
That was the problem with the game, not everything else.
Maybe it's the saboteurs that are the problem.
I made the world's greatest game, but if it wasn't for Jerry, who clearly is out to get me, who's the snail who lives inside of my head, it's like, you stop it.
What was that one? It reminds me of when the day before guy kept melting down.
He kept melting down
over and over again. Of just like, no, the game's good, you guys. Like,
it's not a scam,
right?
I swear. And then they disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yep. So yeah, a bunch of people are no longer working at Build a Rocket Boy, and apparently, the talking about saboteurs and all kinds of
absolutely ridiculous shit.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
If that's the case, I hope that someday you show me the emails that prove this, because right now it just seems like you made a shitty game and that you're like, but it's not my fault. It's not my fault.
I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing.
Because that's the world we live in, where you can just be like, nuh-uh.
It was the Illuminati.
Right.
They didn't want you to learn the truth about Mind's Eye.
Nobody wanted to play my shitty game. There must have been a conspiracy. Fuck's sake.
I wish I lived in that realm of their head.
You know, the only thing that would make it better is if they just went fully unhinged and they were like, the Court of Owls has been against me this entire time.
I didn't know that Steven Spielberg did this to me. It's
I have been emailing bruce.wayne@waynetech.com for the last 6 months to get the Court of Owls off my back, and he won't even call me back.
He won't call me back. I know you're out there. I saw you in that Twilight movie.
Help me, Commissioner Gordon. You're just like, what?
Keeps going to Gary Oldman's house.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving on to significantly less insane news. Ubisoft Red Storm laid off 19 people.
I don't know what they make.
This is one of those ones where when you find out, you're like, oh. Okay. The last few things they made were like that Werewolves Within and Star Trek Bridge Crew and Assassin's Creed Nexus VR.
So it's all the VR stuff then.
Yeah. There was a canceled Splinter Cell VR game. The one that I didn't actually know was apparently they were the ones working on the Division Heartland, which was canceled.
It was canceled.
Apparently at some point. I missed that one.
Well, I remember it being canceled because we were laughing. They were like, no one gives a shit about the Division.
Yep. But like, I don't know how big this team is, and I don't even know, like, if you guys were just making Ubisoft VR games, you just look around and be like, you gotta expect that.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be putting your fucking resumes in places.
Yeah. According to this, they also assisted on X Defiant, so
right.
Even your support side was not going to last very long.
Yeah. So
you poor bastards.
Yeah, that sucks. Let's see. From there. We don't have time to go into this.
I know a lot about this only because people keep bringing it up online.
Yeah, I know a lot about this too. So we talked about the Stop Killing Games thing a little while back, and there was this guy, and in Britain he was using the shutdown of the Crew, speaking of Ubisoft, to basically try to kind of like get a movement going to pressure lawmakers and or the industry into being like, you can't keep selling us a $60 game and then eventually turning the server off.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. I paid money. You can't just turn the server off and be like, your game isn't available. You can't play it anymore. And that movement started off with some decent traction, but it kind of puttered out a little bit. But then there was another YouTuber that came out and started shit talking the whole thing of just like, you can't do this. It'll destroy the entire video game industry. Like, you can't make people make games in a way where they can play them forever. That's stupid. And then it got into a whole back and forth thing. But what that has done then is like, the Moist Critical picked it up, and so then like 2 million people heard about it.
Yeah,
and
everybody signed, I think, immediately.
And then the petition, like, this guy turned into the other YouTuber, kind of turned into the villain of the story, and then people went and signed this petition, and so it's got some more traction now.
Yeah,
which, like, I'm a little bit torn, because on the one hand, it's like, I don't know how you would write a law that says you've got to make the Crew playable forever. Like,
well, it's not a server thing that he's asking for.
Yeah,
he's asking for the ability to just be like, just add the option for like an offline patch.
Yes,
like once you turn it off, just like put something that you don't have to mod the game to be able to keep playing it.
Yeah,
for the consumer, because there's too many games that are being made that are like designed specifically for online only that find themselves canceled. That could be able to be a single player game in some way.
Right.
Like I'm lucky the Avengers was canceled in a way that you can still play it as a normal game without having to worry about servers, even if that had happened. Mm-hmm. But you run into games like Concord,
right?
Or as recently Anthem is happening soon.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, is that, like, because I didn't actually know this. Anthem is going offline next year in January, but here's the thing. Anthem never got an offline mode. So once the servers are shut down, you can't even play it single player.
Yeah, that's the end of it. That's what happened with the crew, basically.
Yeah, you
Or not
can't.
basically, that is what happened with the crew.
You can't. And I was like, oh, I mean, like I realized that, like it was weird because they put out Anthem, and I didn't hate it. It wasn't the
You
best
thought it was
game.
a decent time, and you were like, you're like, well, maybe it'll get better,
right?
Like later on.
But then they were just like, no, nothing, zero, no patches, no
they just
modes,
stopped
just
doing it on BioWare
go
side.
fuck yourself, make Dragon Age. Like, and it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, just out of nowhere too is what it felt like.
So yeah, pour one out for Anthem, or don't. I mean, like I thought it was kind of fun to play as like an Iron Man simulator. It wasn't. It was never like my game of the year or anything. Like
No.
it wasn't great or anything.
But it's obvious when you play it, you're like, well, this was supposed to be like a single player game, probably.
Yeah.
That maybe had a co-op mode that you just turned into something else entirely.
And you know what? If they had thrown some money behind that, I could definitely see where that game could have worked. And you know what,
They could have
Michael?
bounced back from it, yeah.
Because I have the proof.
Really?
Yeah. Because in June, you want to know what number 14 or 13 on the fucking best-selling charts of June was?
What?
Star Wars Battlefront 2, for God's sake.
Oh, did it go?
Like,
oh, wow.
In May. It was like, it went from, so here it is. It was number 12. And look, this number is what number it is here. And this is what it was last month.
Oh, my goodness.
So it went from number 135 to 12 because people watched Andor and there was some other things and they were excited for Star Wars. There was this kind of push.
Huge push, yeah.
And they fixed it, right? They did updates, patches. They
Did
put
they
in
really?
new modes. Oh, yeah. Remember they put in that, like the Ewok hunt mode.
Oh, that
and
stuff. No,
they
I thought you
lightened
meant
up
some of the cheating stuff that was recent. Yeah.
They lightened up a lot of the microtransaction stuff.
Yeah.
They finally put
they
in
all did, yeah.
the cosmetic stuff that you could get. And people were like, yeah, I want to play a fucking Star Wars game. And so Battlefront 2 for the entire last month and a half has had like record player numbers, like higher than it ever had when it came out.
Which is crazy.
And it's like, yeah, man, there are fun games out there if you just fucking put the work in and fix them, for God's sake. So
my PS4 Pro was a Star Wars Battlefront one.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted Battlefront so much that I got it for like cheap because it was on like clearance.
But yeah, like, we're talking about like Star Wars Battlefront 2 is right behind Assassin's Creed Shadows and like Black Ops 6 and shit. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like,
amazing, but insane.
Yeah. Let's see. We don't have time to get into it, but apparently there was a big story this week that came out again from Bloomberg. I really do think that if you're into video game news, I need to go pay for Bloomberg because Schreier really just knocks that shit out of the park.
He does, but the one of the reasons that I find myself not doing that is because maybe an hour later somebody else just reports on what he reported.
Oh, actually,
So,
and I
yeah.
should. This wasn't actually Schreier. This was from WCCF Tech. Sorry, I shouldn't attribute stuff. Big old article. Oh no, wait, no, it wasn't. It was from. Let me just make sure that I get it. Ars Technica. Ars Technica had this big
they're
article.
also very good. Yeah.
I recommend everybody go read it. Battlefront 6 is going to be a fucking shit show. Like,
It's going to be another shit show.
it's going to be a shit show.
What do we know about it now?
$400 million budget.
I'm sorry, what?
$400 million budget.
That's more than they spent on Superman.
Yep. They took out they've alienated the heads of the studio that made Battlefront in the first place, and that all this stuff is coming down. EA corporate has decided that they want it to have like 100 million concurrent players, like on launch, which like at the top of the most popular Battlefield, which was Battlefield 1, I think, was like 35.
The 100 million is impossible.
Their alpha milestone that they hit was like wrong. Like they passed it, but a lot of the stuff that was supposed to be there wasn't there. So it's going to be stuff that's going to catch up with them later in development. There's like a single player. There's a single player story mode that they're putting into the game, and the studio that made it said that like they didn't have the staff to hit their milestones, and then EA kept pulling budget out of them, so they were trying to staff up to make a video game in the middle of a sprint. Like,
Yeah, well, getting their budget slashed.
yeah,
which is
whilst getting their
ridiculous.
budget slashed. There's apparently like, since there's 5 different like actual major teams working on it, like there isn't a clear communication between like the European teams and the American teams and this stuff. The whole thing is going to be really expensive. It doesn't seem like they're going to pump the brakes at all because they want it to compete with Call of Duty. And I don't know if it comes out and it's good. That's great. And I hope it happens. But like, the writing on the wall here is exactly what happened last time.
Yeah,
Like,
this is exactly what happened last time.
you shove that shit out the door without fucking leaderboards. Like, you're like, hey, we're updating leaderboards. Like,
there was so much hype around that trailer for the last one, the first time, because you remember that trailer was like, look at all this insane shit that can happen, and everybody's like, oh my goodness, and then you play it, and none of that was really working the way you wanted it to.
Yep.
To the point where, like, I remember watching so many videos of people just dying in the weirdest possible ways or getting stuck in the weirdest possible way. Like, a whole lot of just terrible glitches.
Yep.
That game was fucking unplayable. And I talked to people years later, because people have this fucking memory of a goldfish when you talk about how bad Battlefield
2142 or whatever it was. Yeah.
And they're like, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, I don't know what time frame you started playing.
Yep.
But it was bad.
It was bad in the beginning. I don't know. It seems like they haven't learned anything, but it's fucking EA. Like, EA is a bag of dicks.
That's the thing. I haven't really known anything that EA or Ubisoft has really put out outside of their main flagship stuff.
Yeah.
Because they used to be one of those game companies that you would hear about all the time.
And it's Dragon Age is probably the last thing.
Stuff. But yeah, no, Dragon Age was one of the last things. And then I think they're still making sports games, last I checked.
Oh,
but I haven't really, but I don't even know which ones those are anymore.
Yep. Well, how about going from somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with their online to somebody who does? Because last week we got the leaks from Marvel Rivals that the swimsuit skins are coming.
I'm very excited about that.
This is a week after the swimsuit skins for Street Fighter 6 were put out. But yeah, we got Psylocke, we got a Luna Snow, we got the Punisher.
The Punisher one's my favorite. I absolutely am happy that they remembered his weird crotch Punisher's outfit.
Yep. And then Loki and Thor. So
they actually just came out with a new swimsuit issue this past week.
I know. I thought it was supposed to come out around the same time as this.
Yeah, well, apparently it just came out like yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So it might be coming out soon if that's the case.
Okay.
But the fun thing about Punisher is his stuff looks like a bunch of Nerf guns.
Yeah, they made
or like Super Soaker type things.
They made all his stuff look like Nerf guns. Yeah,
it's pretty great.
Which is pretty funny. Yeah. All right, let's zip through the last of these. So Peak, the climbing game, did something really fun this week. So there apparently is a really popular mod for Peak that just like opens up the number of people that can play in the game. So instead of having a 4-player game, you can play like an 8-player game. And the last patch that came out for Peak literally fixed a bug in that mod.
Really?
And in the notes when it was listed, it just says like "Hi modders" with like a little smiley face by it. So
that's really sweet.
Which is nice. I love the story of Peak. I think it's great that Peak is like, that's a great one. Like,
I just found out about that game like yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know it existed, but apparently it's very popular.
Bryce and I played it for a Patreon video.
I did not know that.
Yep. It was pretty fun. So let's see. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is gonna come back for a second season.
I wonder what that'll be about.
Well, I think that like there's people that are left alive at the end of that.
Sure, I guess. Or you can just do another story in that world.
Or do a whole other story.
Maybe it's a prequel.
It looks like there's a lot of the same people are going to be working on it. It's going to be Studio Trigger. This guy, I don't know how to say this. I'm sorry, Bartosz Stybor or whatever.
Yeah,
it was like the showrunner producer.
He sounds like he came out of Cyberpunk with a name like that.
Yep. So yeah, they said there's more, and then there was like a little cheeky thing where he says like, yeah, you get ready to cry again. We're going to make you guys cry again. And then somebody asked him about like. They asked him about like how the show was so depressing, and his answer was, "We're the company from Poland. I'm from Poland. People in Poland are sad. They're born sad. They die sad. So I wanted to make the whole world sad. When people are sad, I'm a bit happy."
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Because I have a friend from Poland, and he's one of the sweetest guys I know. Who makes a lot of good comedy.
Have you asked if he's sad?
I should ask him later if he's sad. Maybe he'll tell me he is sad.
Yeah,
he's usually sad purely because some animation thing we both were into got canceled.
Well, there is that.
Because he's a big fan of animation.
I'm happy. I mean, Edge Runners
it was super popular.
Well, it was part of the rehabilitation for me of that game. Where that got me interested in playing it because it was after that then the Phantom Liberty came out.
Did everything. That game rehabilitated that game, or sorry, that anime rehabilitated everybody's thought process about that game.
Yep.
To the point where I remember seeing a video where it's like, before watching the show, I'm like, I don't really care about this. It's like, after watching the show, I'm like, I'm gonna kill that son of a bitch.
Yep.
Because one of the things one of the people in the game is one of the enemies in the game.
Yep.
So you can revenge murder that guy.
Yep. Not only that, but you can get the jacket and the cyberware that the main character uses, and you could play the game like David. So
like, they added essentially ads for the show because it would show you like clips of it.
There was brain dances that you could pick up, and then it would just show you like the trailer.
I remember
for the
texting
show.
you about it. I'm like, it was like, is this part of the thing? Like, oh, that's actually part of the thing. So you can watch it. I was like, oh, okay, that explains a lot.
Let's see. Speaking of people crying and carrying on, I don't know if you've been following this, but there's a game called Ready or Not that's like a police simulator.
I vaguely remember this.
And it had got a console launch this week, and in order to be get ESRB rated, they made some changes to the game, and it's been getting review bombed.
Really?
So this week, they came out and basically They showed what they changed, Michael, and I don't know. I'm not one of these people. Like we talked in the beginning about how I don't put death threats on people, but let me show you these changes.
Okay.
So on one mission, there's a girl having a seizure on a bed, and now she is asleep in the bed instead of having a seizure, like a little girl. In this scene, there's a guy wearing a ghillie suit with no pants with his dick out, and after the patch, he has underwear on.
Okay.
So his dick isn't out. This is a scene where a bunch of women that are being trafficked are naked inside of a container, and after the patch, they have underwear on instead of being completely naked. Here is a guy who has been tortured like as an informant, and before he was completely naked with his dick out, now he has underwear on. But he's still been completely tortured, and he's all bloody and shit.
Yeah.
There's a picture of on the describe it for people at home, a bunch of pictures of girls that have been trafficked. Now it's like a list instead of like Polaroids.
So this is just like, this was them needing to change it so the ESRB was like, now you can do it type of thing. Right. It was too much for them.
Yeah, because it was a lot of nudity.
It's a lot of nudity and like the idea of like violence against specific people in a way that's like, this will look really bad. Like it's the equivalent of like when you watch like, say, like an unrated, or not even an unrated, but like an HBO show that's willing to go super far,
right?
But a movie would not let them do a lot of what happens in that sort of thing.
Oh, also, the last thing is that it used to be that when you can no longer dismember corpses.
Okay.
So if you shot a corpse in the head in the PC version, the head would explode. You could still shoot alive people in the head, and their head will explode. But you can't.
But if they're dead, you can't desecrate corpses. That's a strange change.
And so I think that what happened was that there was a rumor that this happened, and that people started downvoting the developer, and then they came out to be like, here are the 5 changes that we have made. These are changes that we've made to be in line with like the policies of like a global launch on a console, right? I went to the Steam post where they had this. You would not believe how pissed off the PC audience is at this this rampant censorship. What the fuck? I will never buy anything from you ever again. How dare you? What a stab directly to my dick. And I'm like, what?
I can like, those are very extreme reactions.
Yes.
Like, I can get why they would be upset, because it's like, well, you went from like one version of this game to another version. It's like, okay, this is another way of putting it. It's like going from the Genesis version of Mortal Kombat to the Super Nintendo one. Because you see all the cool, I'm using cool as quotey fingers.
Right.
Oh, you see all the cool adults violent shit in the Genesis one. Like, I can rip people's heads off. And then the SNES one's like, well, you freeze them and then they shatter, and then that's kind of, there's your fatality.
Except that
but this is extreme reactions to this.
Yeah.
Like, fine. I get you're upset, but don't fucking react like this.
Fewer dicks and tits. I don't.
It doesn't change it that. Like, okay, again, like, at least give them the option for you to have the patch or not have the patch.
Yeah.
But don't lose your mind as if they fucking shot your child in front of you.
Well, it's also not a game about looking at naked people.
No.
It's a game about doing this like action police enforcement, like SWAT team investigation stuff. Like
The only thing that I don't understand the change of is the seizure thing.
it's probably because it's a minor, because it's a little girl.
Yeah, but what was that part of why you're there type of thing, or like how does that work?
I don't know.
Because that one, if it's changed because it changes the context of the scene,
Yeah.
that one I could I can see that being an issue.
Yeah.
But seeing like, oh, they're no longer naked, it's like, well, that's fine. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not playing this game to jerk off to torture porn.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like I'm not gonna like. Why would I care that the guy who's pantless has to have his dick out?
Well,
I don't need to care about that.
yeah, I don't know.
Unless I really want to shoot him in the dick, but that's something else. But
Anyway,
it's not a RoboCop game.
It's not a RoboCop game. It's not a RoboCop game, and that's a shame. With that, we're going to go and take a break. When we come back, we got trailers, so stick around, and we'll see you in just a minute. And we're back. And before we get into the trailers, we got one more news story left to go, and that is I was talking last week about how you can't buy a Nintendo Switch 2 on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
There wasn't pre-orders.
There wasn't even a listing for it.
Yeah. You could buy some of the games, but you couldn't buy it, and then suddenly the accessory showed up. This week, the console showed up. Sort of. Like, you can apply for like a ticket to buy one on Amazon, as opposed to just like put it in cart and then buy. But this comes on the heels of the fact that people thought for a while that the reason that you couldn't do this was because Amazon owns a sub website that is a bargains website that sells a lot of Nintendo Switch games at a discount. And then Nintendo might have been like, so you can go fuck yourself.
I didn't even know that.
Like, we've got full prices. We want full price for stuff. So, but yep, it's on there now. Just FYI. So I don't know. I guess if you don't have a Switch 2 yet, probably seems like you could probably just find one elsewhere.
Well, right now they're like in a lower amount because it's been long enough and people have actually been out trying to get them. The thing is, I haven't actually gone to look.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff is just online.
Yeah.
Because the way it is now, if you looked up like Doom: The Dark Ages, you would have thought it was sold out everywhere if you looked places.
Right.
If you just go to Walmart, it's just there.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So it might be that idea because online you can't find shit.
Maybe so. All right, and now on with the trailers. We're going to start this week. Here's an interesting one. Oh, turn off that sound. Stalker 2 has been fully and officially announced for the PlayStation 5.
Oh, nice.
This comes about 1 full year after the game came out. It's going to be released about 1 year after the game came out on the Xbox, which means they probably had 12-month exclusivity deal.
And it's fixed too, so it's not really that.
Oh wait,
bad
no, that
thing.
came out earlier this year, didn't it?
It did come out earlier this year, but it was very broken at the time.
And they put out a cute little trailer where the guy, like one of the commanders, one of the characters from the game, is playing Stalker 2 on when it's got like the PlayStation buttons and everything on it, and the guy tricks him into leaving so that he can play Stalker 2.
That's kind of fun,
which is pretty fun. Yeah, late 2025 is when it's coming out. No more than that. It's apparently like kind of fixed, but people still are still running into some issues, but I don't know. I'm not too hard on
it's hard to
on
be
that
hard
developer.
on those guys. They're still in the middle of a war, technically.
Yeah. So, oh no, it did launch in November of last year, I guess. Yeah,
I think the PC one did first, and then I think the Xbox one was a little bit after that.
I thought it was the same time.
That's the thing. I don't remember.
I thought it was the same time.
I generally don't remember. I just remember us being like, "This thing is weird."
Yeah, but yeah, probably November of this year would be 12 months. So that would be
because we did it on PC at the time.
I think we did part 1 on PC and part 2 on the Xbox.
That's right. That's
like
why it did come out
10
the same
minutes
day.
of the PC, and then it crashed, and then we switched over to the Xbox because I had it installed on both.
Yeah, that's
Something
what
along
happened.
those lines.
I remember now. Okay.
Anyway, next up, it's a weird week for trailers, just like it's a weird week for news. So we don't have exactly like the biggest of things, but we got another RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business overview trailer. This one was a little bit more specific about everything. It wasn't as much of a story trailer. Like it kind of went into we kind of know the story. It's basically Judge Dredd or the Raid.
Yeah, but with RoboCop.
Yeah,
and there's like a guy from Murphy's Past.
Yes,
who happens to be there.
Apparently, you're going to be playing. You play as RoboCop. You play as Murphy. You play. There was some intimation that you might play as another character. But then one thing I didn't know about until this trailer happened, and I kind of wish I didn't know it, but I'm going to make everybody know it. Is there's apparently a section where you get to play as an Ed 209.
That one, I remember them hinting at the idea that you might be able to control stuff because it might be like an upgrade that
or
you
like
can
a
get.
remote thing,
Something
or like
possible.
a level. And there's some
I can't remember.
new enemies. Looks like harder enemies. They got these weird smiley samurai guys.
Yeah, they're based on the samurai from RoboCop 3.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what they. Except they're like prototype versions of that guy.
Yeah.
Because that's what he looks like when he finally like gets damaged. He has this stupid grin on his face.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's what they're going for.
All right. And then also they show the freeze cannon that you can use to freeze a bunch of people.
This game looks fantastic.
That looks great. I love it.
And it's just like a $30 thing.
Yeah, it's like a standalone DLC.
And if you have PlayStation Plus, it's still on sale for like $27 instead.
Apparently there's also like, I don't remember these in the main game. There's like these like Punisher Warzone execution moves that you could do on people.
That was not a thing in the original game. I would have remembered because I would have did it a lot.
But yeah, I mean, again, I'm really happy about this. I think this looks great. You know what? I'm really happy about this because like Teon is doing this, but then they've got that Terminator 2 16-bit game that another company is making that also looks badass, and I'm just like,
it just makes me happy. That this game that we not only did we get a RoboCop game but not only that, but it's part of its like main canon. It's got Peter fucking Weller,
and it's good,
and they're fucking great.
Yeah,
like I've been so close to replaying the first one.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of different times, but there's always a game that comes out that makes me go, okay, I'll get back to this when I get a chance.
I need to see if they ever fixed the PlayStation version.
I don't know. I never checked either.
They had that weird thing where it would be like a single frame blip every time the camera changed in a cutscene, and I was like, I can't do it. It's freaking me out.
Yeah, that's the version I have is that one. But but they added a new game plus, and I'm just like, man, I really want to just go through that game again, just with all my shit.
It was super fun.
It's so fun, and I have all the stuff for it too. It was great,
and that's coming out like in a week. It comes out on the 17th.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
And I love that they were like, hey, everything takes place between 2 and 3, so you can just pretend 3 doesn't exist,
right?
And make these the new 3, and you're perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. From there, we got the announcement of some new Dead by Daylight characters. Not a killer, just Rick and Michonne are now...
Norman Reedus, maybe?
Norman Reedus is already in the game, I believe.
Is he? I did not know that.
Or I don't know. This trailer is like, I don't know, it's very Walking Dead
They showed
style.
a picture of him, that's why.
Well, at the end, they say there's also like a new outfit coming for Norman Reedus. And I was like, I guess
because
he's already
Norman
there.
Reedus probably was just himself or something, and now he has a Walking Dead outfit.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Because it might be the same thing that happened to Nick Cage.
I don't know. It maybe, but I don't remember ever reading that.
I'd have to look it up. That's the only thing.
So this is Daryl Dixon legendary outfit. So I think it is the character.
I'll look it up while you're doing this real quick.
But, well, there's not a lot more to say about it.
Well, it's just the funny thing about the funny thing about Dead by Daylight is they consistently add people.
Yeah.
And they're like, these people aren't going to like survive. It's like, okay, that's Leon Kennedy.
Right.
That man would murder that thing with his bare hands type of thing. And they're like, yeah, Michonne and Rick, and they were just going to run away. I'm like, no, the fuck they wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the funniest thing about it. That just keeps happening.
It does seem though they need to like, I don't know, they need to find some new stuff. But I'm still surprised that Dead by Daylight is both still kicking and still managing to make these deals to put people in their game.
It's because it's crazy. I think it's because they're like easy turnarounds for the most part. So it probably just makes things as easy as they possibly can.
I agree.
But
let's see. From there, we got a trailer for the House of the Dead 2 remake. You could tell the caliber of trailers I have this week. The release date for it. What are your feelings about these like light gun games that you play with a controller?
It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of it was, holding the gun.
Right.
Being like, oh, fuck, oh, shit, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
When you do it with a controller, it just feels super off.
Yeah.
Because you don't get that sense of, like, being able to do, like, really quick succession headshots.
Yeah.
If you're really good at it. Type of thing. Instead, you're just sort of like, because a lot of them are just like, you use the reticle to aim. I'm like, well, that's just, again, destroys the point.
Right.
Destroys the point of playing these games. And then they're like, well, what if you use the motion sensor for your controller? I'm like, and again, it just doesn't work the same way.
Feels terrible.
The problem is no one's willing to make light gun peripherals anymore because they think it's like a waste of money.
I wonder if there's a PC compatible one.
I know I know there's a company that makes some, and in fact they announced a new one that's supposed to come with Time Crisis 1 on it.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's like its own special like gun console type of thing, if that makes sense. Like the way those plug and plays are. I think it's like that.
Where you just plug the whole thing into the TV.
But nobody's willing to just like, make one for like you can't just use your PlayStation Move controller because that would solve all of it. And
Sure.
people would start buying those goddamn things just so they could play fucking House of the Dead like that.
You know what'd be great is if you could use the PSVR one of the controllers.
Yeah.
That's a Bluetooth device that's shaped like a gun, is already synced to my PlayStation, and you point it at the screen and pull the trigger.
Exactly. Like that's all you would need to do. And nobody's willing to add that as an option.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
But yeah, August 7th, House of the Dead 2 remake coming out. Keep an eye out.
Maybe I'll come back to when you have a peripheral.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got the launch trailer for Missile Command Delta, a very, very, very strange game. Amanda and I played this. There should be a video out if you want to take a look at it. The Missile Command part is a turn-based thing where you've got the missiles are coming and then you plan your move out and then you see what happens when you hit go. But in between, it's a story about 4 teenagers that are about to graduate high school, and they break into this old abandoned missile command bunker, and then the bunker turns on and they've got to do missile command. They've got to command the missiles. They got to become the missile commander. And I'm like, but then also the bunker has all these weird blueprint style puzzles and shit.
That's crazy as shit.
And then in between, you're collecting these cards, and the cards are the missiles. So the more cards you have, the more missiles you can fire, or the more power-ups and shit you get. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Well, this reminds me of when we watched that what was that game where we watched the trailer and you're like, this looks like this really crazy awesome looking thing, and it turned out to be fucking Gradius or some shit. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck? And this is another example of that. If they didn't put the words Missile Command on there, I don't think I would have figured out that's what this was, even looking at what's on the screen.
Yeah.
That's insane. But at the same time, I get it because we live in a world where you can't just keep re-releasing Missile Command or something.
Well, sure. Nobody wants to play Missile
money
Command
the same way.
Yeah.
Because this is happening with this, and Pac-Man is having his thing fairly soon. So, and then that was that game we mentioned too that was also different.
Well, and then there's also that, what is it, from the Bit Trip guys or something? They're making a Breakout game.
Oh, yeah, the Breakout thing too, yeah.
That's it's Pong. It's a new Pong game. Because Breakout is a different...
well, there was a Breakout one that we had saw at one point. But that you showed me.
like that.
But that's another good example of somebody doing that with it. But there was a new Pong game.
Or maybe it was Breakout, and I
was it the Army one or whatever? You showed me one a while back that was you're like, this is supposed to be Breakout, but a different thing.
It was a very... Oh, that's just old stuff.
Yeah, just put new Pong gameplay. Maybe you'll find
new
the thing.
Pong? Yeah, new Pong.
New Pong game.
New Pong. Well, I know what it is. It's that Atari is bankrupt. And so they're just do you want to make a Missile Command game? You can do whatever.
Whatever you need,
whatever
man.
you want. We are not going to tell you anything. We are going to say... Go for it. You want to make it about teens? Sure. You want to make it a Stranger Things? You go make it a Stranger Things.
You just fucking go for it, man.
Breakout Beyond? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one you were showing me. Yeah.
I think this is the one. Yeah, where it's got like the thing that's
it's
coming.
all like techno-y.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
what was that game that was like a lot like that? It was a Tetris game, right? That did something like that.
well, it's like Tetris Effect or something.
Yeah, where everything was like super neon and like really hard to look at.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Bit Trip guys basically doing like, I don't know, do whatever the fuck you want to. I don't care.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
nobody's making any money off of Missile Command. Make whatever Missile Command game you feel like.
And that's the thing. That's the reason I can't fault them for it. Like,
Yeah.
do something different with
they
with
just,
your IPs.
They just put out that that Yar's Revenge side scroller.
That's what I was thinking
with the
Yar's
anime
Revenge,
girl
yeah.
that has the Yar tattoo that comes off or whatever, and it was like, what is this?
The first time I ever saw somebody try this was that Bomberman game for the 360.
Oh yeah,
And that game was terrible.
I don't know, that Yar's Revenge game looks bad, even though Way Forward is making it.
Oh no, that game looks
Like,
really
it
bad.
looks really terrible.
But I'm not saying they're all good, Jeff. I'm just saying the first time I saw it happen, it didn't go well. So I'm not saying I'm rooting for them, but I'm also not expecting much from them.
Anyway, speaking of basement bunkers, we also got a cinematic trailer for a game called Screaming in the Basement, which to me looks like, I don't know, it's like some kind of investigation game where you're walking around, like you're taking pictures of stuff, but then there's also some like spookiness and weirdness and a strange house. I don't know. There's a lot of these types of games out there. I like to keep an eye on some of them. This one was a little strange because it looks like there's some kind of Polaroid mechanic.
Yeah.
Which, having
Like,
just
you
played
have to
Death
shake it
Stranding
to
2,
develop.
I'm like, oh, it could be interesting if you were playing a game where you took a Polaroid and then you had to shake it to develop it. And then there was like a fucking spooky ghost on there or something.
Or something spooky happens while you're doing it.
Well, yeah. Like Fatal Frame, but with a Polaroid.
That would be really funny.
And then also Hey Ya plays on repeat like the entire time.
That would be horrifying.
That's how it goes. I don't know. This one was one that was kind of interesting. Kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Another one from.
Also, it's got an interesting title.
Yeah, that's true. Screaming in the Basement. We also got the release date trailer for this game called Nidana, which is like a first-person abstract kind of puzzle game that's got this very, very singular look to it. It's kind of got like a 1-bit type of thing.
I vaguely remember this because we were saying it looks like if you did one of those like old Mac games but made it like really detailed instead of like that color scheme that like one of those old Mac games had.
Yeah.
But it was a detailed game at the same time.
And it's like very geometric. It reminds me a lot of, there was a game called, what the fuck was it called? There was a game, I was just referring to it the other week, that was like this, that was like very fractal based and very like kind of strange geography.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it either.
My brain keeps saying Manifold Valley, but I know it's not that. I know it's a different one.
It seems to be the rage now of like trying to make a game with this type of color scheme.
Yeah.
Because there was that other one you played where it was like the first person. But it played like one of those games, but I can't remember what it was called.
The one that
but
Tessa and I played. Yeah.
And then we did the Oberdin.
Oh yeah, Oberdin,
which was one of the first ones we ever saw do that again.
It's a very striking style. And then the I mean, we're not hearing the audio, but the soundtrack for this is like very like kind of ominous single note tone kind of stuff, like with a mute on it, so that it's a little bit unsettling. I don't know. Could be interesting. I'd like to know more about what exactly you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're obviously walking around, but are there like puzzles? Is it an experience? Is it a story? Like, what's the dealio, Nidana? But
tell me your secrets, Nidana.
It's coming out at the end of July, so I guess we'll find out then, or maybe not. Who knows? Let's see. We got, this is really interesting, a game called Shoot and Order that got announced. And this is from a combination of like one of the Danganronpa guys is involved with this, and then it's also part of the team that did AI the Somnium Files. So it's very anime.
And it's got that sort of look to it that has that those other games did, but not fully at the same time, if that makes sense.
This very Danganronpa kind of thing.
It looks almost like a generic version of Danganronpa.
But see, what's really interesting is that you're dead, and you've got to like find out about your death.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
And then there's like these ministers, these like five evil exes or whatever, I don't know. But the weird thing, and I didn't know this until I watched the trailer, was that there are 5 of them, and you pick which one you want to go to, and each one has a different game. Like it's an entirely different type of game. So one of them is like a murder game. Like one murder game escape room. One of them is like a mystery. One of them is like a stealth game. One of them is a dating simulator. Like they're all different, but they're all kind of like based on that style of game. So like some of them are an escape game and some of them are a murder game and some of them are a dating game, but they're all like some version of a weird anime visual novel type of thing.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
It even tells you what each person's thing is.
One of them is a multi-perspective thing, so it's like one of those where you have to back up through the timelines and check to see which flow you're in to try to figure out. So every one of these has been like the main thrust of like a game like this.
Yeah.
But in here, it's like they've made 5 smaller versions of those games. And
that's actually really creative.
Oh, yeah, which is interesting. Also, the art is very neon and strange. It's very weird. It's got this like kind of pixel junk, like kind of aesthetic to it, but with these really bright colors. So I don't know. I was kind of interested in like, oh, okay, that's a new take on that thing.
I'm a big fan of people who are willing to like take chances on stuff, and especially because I feel like a lot of these Danganronpa games keep popping up, not just from them, but like from like other people who want to be the Danganronpa, the next one, not realizing that there's a reason those all were very specifically popular.
Right.
And so like being able to be like, well, I'm just going to do all of them. Fuck you guys. So, that's a great idea.
It's a good one. September 5th is when that's coming out. So.
Switch and Steam. That's an interesting choices.
I think that happens a lot, like with some Japanese companies where you'll see, Switch and Steam. Michael, I've been complaining about solo leveling video games for a while now.
Yeah.
Last week, speaking of anime bullshit, there was an announcement for a game called Solo Leveling Karma. And you know what? I think this one looks really good.
What was this one gameplay-wise?
Apparently, so one of the reasons I think it's good, okay, first off, let's just get it out of the way. It's an ARPG where you're playing as the main character from Solo Leveling, Sung Jin-woo. Sung Jin-woo. But in the manga, there is like a point in time where the character gets taken out of the story and has to spend like a year in this monarch war in another dimension or something. And this game takes place then.
Oh, so and you're doing that time frame with him?
You're doing that part of it where it's not part of where the anime is. So they are able to avoid 27 years actually. So they're able to avoid that you're just playing the anime by putting you in this part that's technically part of the manga but is not in the show and probably won't, maybe not will be. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a great solution to most of my problems with anime. It's just a top-down isometric RPG, and it's not like an arena fighter or some bullshit.
Yeah, this actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah. Also, it looks like it's single player as opposed to some kind of online multiplayer bullshit.
That was the funniest thing about that last one,
because that means that you can have a scenario where you let the player over level the main character to become really powerful. Like,
that's really cool,
which is what I would want to do. So all of this looks great to me. I am interested in playing this. Like,
that's a great idea.
It is also going to be a phone game though, so I'm
a phone game.
It's a phone and PC game.
Oh,
PC and mobile.
That's a little disappointing though.
Yeah. Solo Leveling Karma introduces an original storyline set in the Dimensional Gap, an unexplored... Oh, it's not even part of the narrative. The Dimensional Gap, an unexplored narrative window within the source material where protagonist Sung Jin-woo endures a 27-year-long war amongst monarchs. If it's even something that doesn't even occur in the manga, where it's just like he goes away and then he comes back and he's even more powerful. And it's like, yeah, okay, let me play that. That sounds great.
That sounds like a much better idea.
Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe it'll be really good. I was actually trying to think of how I would make a game that was like a One Punch Man or a Solo Leveling or like a...
It's difficult to come up with an idea for that. Because everybody's always just like, well, you can't really make a Superman game. It's like, well, you can because of the way the villains work. But with One Punch Man, that's not how he works.
Right. You know what you could do. You know, what'd be really interesting for the One Punch Man game is you dramatically restrict the saving, right? Dramatically restrict how often you could save. Focus your game mechanics on a dodge mechanic, and then make it so that every level in the game you can only attack one time. You can only attack one time. And so the game is about getting you into position to make the one punch. And then if you miss, then you have to start over the entire level at the beginning because you fucked it up.
That's actually a fun idea.
But then when you do it, you're like, yeah, I fucking did it.
And not only that, you can like make these like really extravagantly long fights.
Right.
And depending on how much you dodge, you can see like a point where it's like, well, this is always going to be the perfect point.
Yeah.
But it's always really hard to get to.
Yep.
Or you can just find a point in between.
Yep.
That would be kind of fun, actually. That would be a really fun idea.
Yeah. See, you could do it.
It's almost like the way whatchamacallit, Undertale has like the whole dodge thing.
Yeah.
So it's just that, but you actually do have to attack eventually.
Yeah.
And I think that's
But only one
fun.
time.
But yeah, only one time.
Next up, we got a bigger. This is a bigger trailer for Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. Last week at the Bandai Namco had a conference where they announced this, and it was a little animated thing. This is like a kind of an ARPG top-down, like kind of you're in a like Asian themed like city, and you kind of go out and you're fighting like guys, but then there's a bunch of different characters, and you kind of rebuild the city, and you can farm stuff, and you can do crafting, and it's got a little main character with these little bells on her head, which is pretty fun. The trailer had a lot more of just this like hand animated cutscene, so this shows a little bit more of the actual. It looks like one of those games where you can do this kind of action, this kind of RPG action, but then there's a bunch of little mini games for other stuff. So kind of like a slightly more combat focused version of like a Harvest Moon or something like that.
Oh yeah, that would be a fun idea. Like that's the thing I kind of like about the way, because the farming simulator, people are like, well, what if we just made other games around that?
Yeah.
And I think that's such a better idea overall.
Yeah.
And it's been happening a lot lately, and I think those have been doing pretty well, all things considered.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I think that they've realized that there's a group of people who don't necessarily want to just play a farming game, and this kind of if you like, people might not understand entirely, but if you look at it, it kind of has in a few ways like the feel of what might be like just kind of a running around doing chores in a village type of game, but then there's also like a bunch of attacking and going out in the world and like getting resources.
Yeah, because the problem with the farming games is you make one farming game, you kind of made them all, and so you need a reason for them to want to play yours specifically.
Yep.
So yeah, this is a great way of doing it.
I agree. So yeah, if that was tickled your interest, go check it out. Michael, do you believe they're still making bee simulator games?
Do you get to be Jerry Seinfeld?
Nope.
Wait, I think I made this joke the last time we did this.
Yep. This is a new one called Bee Simulator: The Hive.
Okay.
Which just seems to me like another bee simulator game.
Yeah, there's just more bee stuff going on.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what differentiates this from the last bee simulator game.
I think you're trying to find a new place for the bees to be.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do it. I don't know. That's a weird thing. I've never really because we never really got far enough to really know what the differences between them
Very
are.
true.
But it's just interesting how many games are just whatever the simulator type thing. But this one's more earnest about it than the other ones we've done.
And there's got these little cutscenes, these little motion comic cutscenes. There's one where they're attacking one of the murder hornets or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, I guess.
I guess those make enough money. I wonder whatever happened to Empire of the Ants. I wonder if Empire of the Ants made it or not. Like, because that was another weird one with a bunch of bugs.
That one was a weird one. It's kind of fun, but weird.
Yeah.
It's based on a book of all things.
Yep. Okay, here's one that I do understand. We finally got a release date for Time Flies, which was announced a long time ago. And is like this kind of pixel art game where you play as a housefly.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And you have a very short lifespan, and you're kind of just wandering through this house, doing weird fly stuff. Like looking at guys like knocking over books and landing on stuff and tickling people's feet, and you'll die, but then there's another fly, and then you play as that fly. It's this very simple pixel art style that is also kind of that 1-bit, like just black and white type of thing. But that's actually coming out July 31st. I think I heard about this like 2 or 3 years ago.
It was a long time ago. I completely forgot about this until now.
Yeah, me too. But it looks pretty charming.
Yeah,
So
it could just be a fun little thing to play.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. After that, this one doesn't work as well without the sound, Michael. A game was announced called Rhythm of Resistance, which is a Metroidvania, but it's another one of these like do it on the beat.
Yeah, it
games.
shows like it's got a like one of those like what's the word I'm looking for? Accessibility type ones, where it shows
it's got little circles that close to show you where the beat is.
Yeah, so you can try to just match it instead of having to like do the actual sound.
But there's something really interesting is they show
that woman does not look great.
Yeah, it's a little rough around the edges. They show like that it works with like combat and stuff, but it also works with the puzzles in the game.
Oh.
But then they show something really interesting where you can literally switch between different soundtracks in order to affect how fast things are actually happening like in the world.
That's really cool.
Because it all happens on the beat. And I'm like, I wish this was just a little bit better looking, because it's a great concept.
It's
like,
a fun concept. Yeah, because the second this is the show, the lady, I think she's the character.
This is the character, yeah. That you're playing as.
Just like, that did not look great.
Yeah. It also is just a little dark, a little dull.
Yeah.
The character's a little far away. Like, it's not striking as a visual thing. It works a lot better when you can hear the audio from it.
Well, yeah, like I get why it's like that based on the story it seems to be wanting to tell. But another game told a very similar story.
Yeah,
but it was very like colorful in what it was doing.
Yes.
So I can, it's got some potential, but it could go either way.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. From there, we got a release date for another game that I remember seeing a while back called Rah Rah Boom, where you play as a bunch of interdimensional cheerleaders that are fighting like an alien invasion of some sort, with these like really nicely hand animated like characters.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Very like just very. It reminds me a lot of what was the game that had the Bionic Commando in it, and then the mummy with the knives. Captain Commando?
Yeah, Captain Commando.
Captain Commando kind of reminds me of that, with how like weird it is. This character's a rocket launcher, and there's like a ninja.
Yeah, it definitely has that Captain Commando type thing. I'm a big fan of Captain Commando. That's a crazy ass game.
Yeah. But this looks good. Like, this looks solid, like as a beat 'em up.
I'm happy people still make a lot of these beat 'em ups. There's a beat 'em up game that got announced a decade ago that I still don't think it's ever going to come out to this day.
Oh yeah, which one?
It was called Nightmare Cops, and it was made by people who kind of worked on Castle Crashers. And there was like one trailer for it, and it looked really fun. Haven't heard dick about it since, and it was supposed to be like an Xbox One game.
Oh geez,
like that's how long ago this thing was
Wowzers.
made. And you're just these cops that are like that go into like kids' dreams and like beat up their nightmares.
Oh, okay. Was this by the company that made the Castle Crashers?
Well, a lot of those guys were from Newgrounds, and it was made by a lot of those old Newgrounds guys. And in fact, if you listen to the voices, they're like, that guy is like a voice I've heard in like every Newgrounds video at some point.
Okay, and
that's why I was very excited about it. I'm like, this looks really cool, and that was 7 years ago.
Wow. Okay,
and they haven't updated their Twitter in like 2 years.
Probably not. Don't hold your breath, Michael.
They've never said it was canceled, is what frustrates me.
Yeah, well, neither did Tekken X Street Fighter, but
it might come out still. Who knows? No, I doubt it at this point.
We also got the launch trailer for Patapon 1 and 2 Replay, a game that I'm like, I don't understand why this and then that Taka, the other one, the one that's just Patapon, the Tac Tour or whatever it's called.
I don't know. Some people like weird shit like this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bizarre. It's a little bizarre.
It's more bizarre that it took them this long to do that other thing with this.
Yeah,
more than it is that they're doing it.
See, but here's the thing, Michael. If they put out a new Loco Roco game, I would play it. I would play a new Look Roco game.
That's fair.
But like Patapon, really,
I never really understood it.
It is a cute trailer though, because the little Patapons are all like
depressed, got their asses
and
beat.
then you start pushing they start pushing the button, and they all start getting hyped up about the Patapon.
It's more like they were depressed that nobody was playing with them anymore.
Yeah,
that actually is a little sad.
but yeah, by the time you hear this should be out right now. I think it came out the day we're recording this.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Patapon 1 and 2 replay. And then last but not least, I just didn't have anywhere to put this, so I put it at the end. Old School Rally. I just put this one in there just for my man Bryce. PSX style rally.
That looks
game.
awesome. My brother Jared played these all the time.
Yeah,
he had so many. Like there was one that was like I thought was one of the most gorgeous one. It was like a cell shaded one, and it looked a lot like this, but with like all the cars were cell shaded.
One. Yeah,
I forgot the name of it. It was hard as shit, at least for me, because I was bad at racing games at the time.
Yeah,
I'm sure if I played it now, I'd have a better time. But even then, I've never been the best at these. But there's something super nostalgic about seeing these models that look the way they do.
Yeah, the PSX chunky graphics,
but also like it's more detailed than it would have been if it was a PS1 game.
Right,
thing. It's like a midpoint between PS1 and PS2.
I like the fact that the trees obviously are just like 2D pictures of the top of a tree. But yeah, it looks like a pretty fully featured game in that style.
Yeah, this just reminds me of every game my brother played, because my brother was obsessed with racing games when we were growing up.
Yeah,
and so he had like every one of these, and so I would play them just because I play whatever my brothers had. Yeah, essentially, and I'm like, I am terrible at this, but I would watch them play it.
Nice.
And they always had fun with it.
Nice. Well, yeah, it's coming out holiday of this year, so we'll maybe take
that's
a look
so
at
cool.
It.
I'm so happy for that.
Yeah. And finally, let's go ahead and wrap it up with some quick announcements. We got PS Plus stuff for this month. Is going to have Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, July 9th, you can play Cyberpunk 2077 if you have PS Plus. Not the DLC.
Yeah,
just the main game.
The good news though is lately the DLC's been going on sale kind of haphazardly. That's the only reason I haven't pulled the trigger on just the DLC wise though, because I bought it for my Xbox and I just kind of stopped. But now that I have a Pro, I'm like, well, I kind of want to play Cyberpunk on my PS5.
Oh yeah, you never played through it, right?
I never finished it, and it's mostly because I just wasn't like, it was just a lot going on at the time. Yeah. Even when I finally got into it, I was like, maybe I'll get back to this.
I mean, they're gonna have, the only thing you might want to do is you might want to hold off, because there's like one more huge patch.
That's the thing.
That is on its way. Like,
even if I start this, it's not going to be for a while with Death Stranding, and then when RoboCop comes out.
Yeah, that's true.
And then also, I've never even played some of the other games that came out this year.
That's true.
Yeah.
We got the other list in July. Abiotic Factor is going to be a thing. The console release for that. I'm really excited for that game. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, that game that really didn't sell very well, from Don't Nod, I think.
I completely forgot about that game.
Bluey the video game, Planet Zoo, Risk of Rain 2, Tropico 6, and New World Eternum. So, sure. There's like 2 games in there I want to play.
Yeah. Oh, you're a big fan of Bluey.
Yes. Yeah. Super Bluey. Super Bluey guy. We also got the news last week that Call of Duty World War II has been taken off of Game Pass for the PC.
Really?
And this is because somebody was playing the game and literally like a remote control window came up and started typing in commands, and then changed their background and like,
oh my goodness,
and started doing like remote calls on their system. And apparently the PC version of that is not the latest version or something.
That's incredible.
It still has some kind of like exploit in it that people are using, so they immediately took that shit down.
Yeah, fucking hell. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Just imagine playing Call of Duty and that shit just starts happening.
Yeah. So it immediately spread around,
showing it,
and people were like, "Oh fuck, no." So
this is when Mark Harmon. No, not Mark Harmon. This is when those two NCIS people start going on the keyboard.
Oh yeah,
we'll stop them.
Yeah, we'll counter hack them. Counter the hack. Yeah. Resident Evil. There's a new Resident Evil. It's a phone game?
Sure, I guess.
Called Resident Evil Survival Unit. Actually, wait, what time is it? Just July 10th at 5.
It should be out now.
Yeah. Well, it's set to be revealed. While we've been recording, the reveal of Resident Evil Survival Unit Yeah, it was 47 minutes ago.
Jesus Christ.
I don't watch this
25
25 minutes. I just want to see what it looks like. Some kind of phone game set in the Resident Evil universe, but they're doing that thing where they stand in front of a green screen of the Spencer Mansion for fucking 25 minutes. What's it look like? Okay, there's programmers. There's
There it is.
okay. It's like an old school.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like an old school Resident Evil game.
And you're like tapping
And,
to
use the touch screen to do things. And it shows that they're kind of like that one shot was definitely a recreation of something. So it's just they're just making like an old school Resident Evil game.
Yeah,
but with phone controls.
But then there's combat, or I think there might actually be multiplayer. Wait, is that Jill?
Yeah.
Oh, is this like Resident Evil Outbreak? Sorry, I didn't actually know any of this, so I can't really speak to it. Oh, there's like waves. Oh, there's dogs.
It's like a tower defense almost.
Is this? Okay.
Okay. There's a lot happening here, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of different areas where you've got to. It kind of almost looks like one of those ones where you got to move around the map, and then when you get into the level, it's like you gotta get up to level 4 before the big guy comes down the middle or something.
No, it's Claire. It was Claire.
Claire, not Jill. Yeah, Jill's got the blue outfit.
For some reason I was like I know it's not. It might be the name, but I couldn't remember the name of it.
Wow, this looks like ass. Oh, and it's got the merchant from 4.
Yeah, this is a hella phone game.
Oh, hell. Oh, but it's also gotcha.
Then you can unlock other characters.
Unlock the different characters that have different. Oh no! Wow. Okay. Well,
I like how they censor the left side in case they don't want you to know about the other characters.
See who all the characters are. And then you form a squad, and it's like an auto battler.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
You guys. Did you hear that Resident Evil 9 last week, they had an interview where they said, or the new one, that they'd considered making it an online multiplayer open world game, and I was like, why? You guys are so bad at that. Like,
that's why they were like, no, let's not do that.
Every time you
do
that,
silly place.
Oh, jeez.
And then they also were like, well, we thought about making it Leon, but we kind of OP'd Leon now.
Yeah.
And it's not scary anymore if you're Leon.
Okay, so this looks like ass. But there's a new game called Resident Evil Survival Unit.
And it's got some like concept arts and stuff.
Why do those guys have green screens? Green, like
I think it's like a shade thing, yeah.
For the fluorescent lights?
This probably just helps with like screen stuff.
Okay.
There's some like interesting detailed stuff or like design stuff here, but overall it just looks like one of any other phone game that just happens to have, but this happens after Resident Evil stuff going on.
I guess it's coming out this year. Yeah, I don't know. It's like
registration, guys.
It doesn't look like a fun phone game, and it doesn't seem like it has anything to differentiate it from any other slop phone game. So.
It's got Resident Evil on the title, Jeff.
I guess
that's different.
Sure. In one of the most desperate things I've ever seen in my life, Michael, some people are trying to line up, like, okay, so in Nintendo.
Oh yeah, when the CRT filter thing,
and there was like the CRT filter, and then behind it there was like a blurred background, and people are now trying to line up game boxes.
They're trying to unblur the thing
with the blurs that are in the background. And they think that they might have uncovered that Smash for the N64 might be coming to the
go to the blurred one.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
I
don't know how they got that.
It's like, it's really. I feel like you could make anything happen there. Like, yeah, like I don't know.
I don't know how they're okay. I can maybe see the Mario.
Yeah.
Now that I'm really looking at it.
Yeah.
But I don't. Even then, I don't think that's probably the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's fucking you guys.
That's a Pepe Sylvia right there.
Crazy.
You guys Pepe'd all the Sylvias, but
if you guys turn out to be right, though,
yeah,
I'd be so happy for you guys. Because one of those games looks like some random ass Acclaim game.
Oh, are you talking about this one?
Yeah,
Forsaken 64. That was an ass game when it came out on the PC. I played it. It's like Descent, but worse.
Like, that's ridiculous. Like, okay, sure, I guess.
Yeah. It is an Acclaim game, so.
Put Duke Nukem on instead. Fuck it. Duke Nukem 64. Let's just do that.
Well, speaking of Duke Nukem, you want Duke Nukem? I got you, Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem, brand new Duke Nukem content just for Michael. in World of Tanks.
I watched this, by the way. I actually did watch this even before you did.
Yeah.
This shit's ridiculous.
There's a Duke Nukem tank in World of Tanks, but they spent all this time making this like fake Duke Nukem 1-1 in a tank level.
Like, I think it was just to show off the Duke Nukem lines, because you can use him as like one of the drivers now. Yeah. And so it has a bunch of new Duke lines. So they're all the old Duke lines, of course, but he re-recorded them, of course. Yeah. So these are just the new versions of that line. Yeah. And I guess it's just their way of like advertising this. And there's a new Duke Nukem tank as well, but he's not the only one they added to it too, actually.
Oh yeah. Somebody else, right?
They announced Laura Croft
also
has her own tank.
That doesn't make any fucking sense either. So
I don't know if she has lines though.
The Duke tank actually doesn't look bad, and like
it's the Duke design that catches me off guard. Yeah. Like, it looks like an AI of Duke for some reason.
Oh, this picture?
Yeah, because it's not anything like the Dukes we've seen from like anything. Yeah. But it still is. It looks more like somebody playing Duke Nukem, you know what I mean?
It does look like an AI one too.
It's a little weird.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was because they try to make everybody look real there. I don't know. It just looks off. But and John St. John's voice, I love John St. John, but he seems almost like he's not even trying. Yeah. When you watch that trailer, and
he seems very unenthusiastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a shame. Because I got him to do a RageSelect promo for us at the time.
I remember. I've seen it many times. Speaking of World of Tanks, you remember that World of Tanks mech game they put out?
Yeah.
It's canceled
already.
Yep.
That was what, like a week ago? How long ago was that?
It was announced in October. It came out in early access in April. Or no, it was announced last year. It came out to early access in April. It's closing in October.
It's fucking July, guys.
I know.
It's not even a year.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck.
So there you go. Yeah, it had a trailer at the 2024 Game Awards.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So
yeah, I remember that trailer because everybody's like, "Oh, this looks really cool," and then it turns out to be what it was, and they're like, "Oh."
People from this article, they said that it was like okay, but just kind of a little boring, and the rewards weren't great. And I was like, "Well, you can fix that."
Yeah. Instead, they're just like, pull the plug. No one cares.
Yep.
We don't want to spend any more money on this.
So there was a game called Routine that was announced in like 2013, I think, 2012. That was like a moon horror game where you were like in space. And it was announced a long time ago. And then in 2022, it had a new trailer at, I think it was one of the like Game Awards or Summer Games Fest or something. And it was like, I don't know if you remember this one, where it was like a person like in a moon base, and it was this kind of retro futurism thing.
I actually do remember this because we were wondering what it was at the time.
Yeah, and they're like walking around, and they kind of go down this escalator, and then there's like a spooky robot, and they've got like it's like a weird little tool that they're using, and they're trying to be quiet, and then like another robot kind of comes out and grabs them. Okay, so
I definitely remember this, yeah.
No one had heard shit for 3 years about this game because it was also supposed to be coming to Game Pass. But recently, the team came out and they said that they are still working on it and they're beginning to approach the finish line. So who knows?
Oh my goodness.
This thing might come out after all. Apparently, they just hunkered down and they've been doing the work. And who knows? We might actually see this game come out at some point.
Well, it could be good. Who knows? Yeah. There's a lot of games that Xbox announced over the years that I just forgot it happened. Because there was one that I remember somebody doing an announcement for that was like supposed to be a remake of something, and we haven't heard shit about that one either.
Oh, is that the Dust one?
I think so.
That one came out.
Did that come out?
I think that came out.
I didn't even remember that.
I think the remake of the original came out, but I think they announced a sequel.
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
In the Xbox One era?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's what I'm thinking
Phantom Dust or something like that?
All I remember is people were like, that's what you did? Because I remember people were excited to find out what the announcement was, and then it popped up, people were like,
Phantom Dust? Yeah, Phantom Dust. And they were like, yeah, we're going to put out a new one to the one that you...
But that's what it was, yeah.
that this weird card-based JRPG that was an Xbox exclusive game that nobody fucking knows about. Like,
nobody, as far as I know, had ever played. Because when they announced it, they're like, "Beloved." They're like, "By who?
Yeah,
who are you talking to?"
So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that these games got canceled.
And then let's wrap it up with some fun stuff. Oh yeah, okay, that's a duplicate. So here's a headline that I didn't know that I would see, Michael. Sims 4 update turns everyone pregnant and makes it hard to be a vampire. So the latest bug in the
what?
Yes.
I'm so confused.
So the latest Sims, there's a big new Sims update that came out, and there was an update that came out, and apparently in some players' games, it made everyone pregnant. And when characters are pregnant, they can't make a wish and blow out the candles on their cake, so they can't get older. Also, they can't woohoo because they're pregnant. And it's being tagged even on like teenager characters who technically can't get pregnant in The Sims.
I assure you she's not as the title of one of these.
Yep. This also has the knock-on effect that if your character is a vampire, they are not allowed to feed on pregnant people.
Oh, so you can't.
So if everybody turns pregnant, then people then have to turn to cheats to keep their vampire character from dying because they literally can't feed on everybody.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Holy shit.
EA is aware of this and is asking people to send in their save games if they have this to try to figure out how to resolve the issue. But,
how does that even happen?
But just the headline alone of EA turns everyone pregnant and the vampires are all starving, and it's like, what?
Does this affect the guy characters too?
I don't.
That's what I want to know.
I don't know,
because that would be the funniest fucking thing ever.
Yep.
Is if every guy is also pregnant.
I have no idea.
It's a Junior. Oh, this is what Junior warned us about.
Yep. So I'm not entirely sure. It's probably already fixed. But
I hope it's not, just because this is the funniest goddamn thing I've ever heard.
I thought it was pretty hilarious.
Holy shit, that's incredible.
Yep. Let's see. Next up, I don't know if you know this, but Lord of the Rings Online is still online.
Oh, I didn't know
that. And Lord of the Rings Online has a yearly, it's like a community event that they do where it's called the Hobbit Run. And what happens is that players all gather in the Shire as level 1 through, supposed to be, it's like loosely enforced, max level 5 hobbits. And then they try to run from the Shire all the way to Mount Doom. Without leveling up or doing combat.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes other players will run alongside of them and try to like aggro
keep them alive.
people off of them. And it's something that they do every year. So the first year, apparently, they got to like, what did they get to? They got like to the Mines of Moria, I think, and then they wiped. And then like the second year, they got to like the Rohirrim, like the plains of Rohirrim or something.
As far as Rohan is what it says.
Rohan, yeah, there we go. This year, they finally did it. They started with 150 hobbits, and by the end, they had about 50 left, and they got to Mount Doom. They did not get all the way to, like, Sauron, but they got to Mount Doom. They were inside of Mount Doom. No one could remember how to get to Sauron, who was playing, and so eventually, they all celebrated, and then they all jumped into the lava at the same time and died. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, I can think like that's one of those things where like I have no interest whatsoever in playing Lord of the Rings Online, but this would be fun to do. Like,
well, yeah, this is the thing. This is the one thing I've always loved about MMOs is that you basically can flash mob an MMO,
right?
In just like the funnest ways possible.
But like nobody does this in WoW. They're all too like concerned about playing WoW.
Oh, they're also like infecting each other with diseases.
Yeah,
because that was the thing that happened.
True. So yeah, there's like a whole like 9-hour Twitch stream that shows the entire process from start to finish.
That's incredible.
Yep.
I wish they would have tried to find Sauron.
And last but not least, the stupidest news story of all, Michael. The stupidest story.
More than everyone is pregnant.
Yes. GameStop is
I do know about
selling the stapler, the staple, the receipt, and the Nintendo Switch 2 from the Staten Island launch event where somebody stapled the receipt directly into the Switch 2 and ruined it. It's just a stapler and a staple and a broken Nintendo Switch and a receipt.
It's the last bidding I heard on it was ridiculously high.
Yes, like this article was like it's gotten up to like
because this is for charity, by the way,
$16,000, and then I checked it on eBay and it's $122,800.
So it's gone up since I last checked. Because the last time I checked, it was at an even 100,000.
Yes, it went up. The last time I checked, it was 110. That was earlier today.
Yeah, that's I checked it earlier today at 100.
Who the fuck? Why? This is never going to be worth anything. It's not worth this much as is.
Some people do it for the memes.
You give me $122,000, I will give you a broken Nintendo Switch 2
with a stapler
and a stapler.
Yeah,
I'll even load the stapler up all the way with staples,
and it'll be a nice red stapler from Office Space. I will get it signed by Stephen Root.
Yes.
Like I will make that sucker the nicest stapler you've ever owned in your life.
How is this a thing? How is this a fucking thing?
The only solace I have is that it's for charity.
Yeah,
so fair, but $122,000 is more than even fucking Dan Aykroyd's. Like you get to talk to Dan Aykroyd for 30 minutes, fucking auction wise.
Yeah,
what the fuck, guys?
How many Switch 2s is this? It's $122,800 divided by $450 a Switch. It's 273 Switch 2s.
Jesus Christ.
Why? That's dumb. That's stupid.
That's so dumb.
I judge you. I judge you. And now that my judgment is over, so is this podcast. Patreon.com/RageSelect. So if you want to help us out, kick some bucks, get some bonus videos in return. If you enjoyed the podcast, I would recommend kicking in. Patreon's been down a little bit, so if you got $5 a month, it's not a lot, but it does help out quite a bit. Michael, where can the fine folks on the internet find you when you're not over here doing whatever this has devolved into?
Buying staples.
Buying staples,
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie television reviews. My last review was for Jurassic World Rebirth, as well as Megan 2.
Yep.
You can also find me on YouTube under Super Maniacs. That's a Superman podcast that I do sometimes. If you want to hear me just talk probably more spoilery about it, I'm going to be talking about that on Monday. So basically the day after this is posted, I'll probably be doing it around like 6 Central Time.
Are you doing it live?
Yeah, we usually do them live each time.
Oh, okay.
And so we actually we get it's not like a super large audience because it's like, we haven't been doing it super long, but we've been getting like a few people to
post in the Discord that you can access by going to patreon.com/RageSelect, and then maybe some folks will stop by to hear you talk about it. I know a few people in the Discord have already watched it and said that they liked it. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's it. Now, Michael, get out of my house. I have chicken to eat. I have some chicken. It's got to get eaten. I don't want to eat it, but I'm going to eat it anyway. I'm going to eat it. All right. Bye.